fish.
Your home for the NFL. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The UFL announced today that San Antonio Brahmas head coach Wade Phillips is taking a leave of absence from his role due to personal reasons. Phillips fell ill before the Brahmas game in Detroit on Sunday. Offensive coordinator Payton Pardee will take over in the interim. Baylor Bears men's basketball team is starting from scratch, literally. 9 players have hit the transfer portal, 4 exhausted their eligibility, 1 is going pro.
SportsCenter brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on a Wednesday afternoon.
Absolutely. Hump day.
Hump day?
That's a little slow there, Minix.
Well, see, I push this button and nothing happens because over in the other room they
have to turn you up.
Slide something up.
I got you.
So it's only on pledge right now.
That is a great day.
Yeah.
Hump day, Wednesday.
Hump day?
One of my favorite days of the week.
One of.
It's
not Friday.
Well, Friday's good too.
Saturday.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Sunday's pretty good too.
Yep. Then it's Monday.
Yeah.
Why you bring the room down?
I didn't, dude. I've still got them to look forward to. Thursday's all right too. Thursday's a little underrated, I think.
I mean, it's a
day.
A day that ends in Y. Let's go.
Well, some days that end in Y are better than other days that end in Y.
This is true. I'll give you that. And we generally don't start on any kind of down news, but you heard Joe say it during Sports Center. You might have seen it on social media. In the last hour, announced that Wade Phillips on a leave of absence from the UFL. We know he's not feeling well, and he missed the game on Sunday. Yesterday, in talking with them, we knew that it was likely to be Payton Pardee sitting in for Wade Phillips on Wednesdays with Wade. But there was still an outside chance that if Wade is feeling better, he wants to do the interview. It will be Payton Pardee today in the news today, a little bit shocking. But I texted Wade. He gave me the thumbs up back, so hope that he's feeling better, and he still wants to coach. He still wants to do this. So, but he is 77 years old, almost 78, and, nothing but the best wishes for Wade Phillips, and hopefully he's feeling better sooner rather than later.
Yeah, no question about it. We wish him all the best and hope that he gets well or whatever he's dealing with, that goes away and he's back on the sidelines. In the meantime, it will be Payton Pardee, grandson of one Jack Pardee, famous Houston Oilers head coach.
That is correct.
One of my heroes, Jack.
Well, you get Peyton today.
Well, I mean, I guess he'll do, right?
I mean, he's a Pardee, right?
He's a Pardee.
And he's a good dude.
He is,
young,
yes.
up-and-coming coach who is, you think about obviously his pedigree, everybody, everything about him. I mean, destined to be a coach kind of guy and knows what he's doing and really good at what he's doing. In fact, he just got selected, it was announced today, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coaching academy that they do that thousands apply for. Very few get selected. I think one of 25.
Wow.
And kind of puts you on a fast track to an NFL career. So
awesome. He's young too, right? I mean, he's
28, 29 probably.
So.
One of those that were born in the 90s after we graduated high school.
As long as they were born in the 90s, that's all right. So it's 2000s that you had to worry about.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because,
if you were born in the year 2000, you're 25 or about to be 25.
No, that's nuts,
Which
dude. That's nuts.
Well, look, my kid was born in 98.
Well, she's good then.
Yeah, she's good.
She's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of mine were born before the 2000s as well. So
I just think about, when you get the cheaper insurance and then when you get kicked off the insurance completely because, the law says, kid, you're off the insurance.
You're off. That's the way it's got to be.
You okay over there?
Well, I kind of went down a little too far. I was up too high, and then I hit it, and I went down, and it's like, where?
Ryan Eagle, learning how to use a chair.
I feel like one of those rides at, I don't know, Fiesta, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be okay. I'll fix it during the break.
No, let's go ahead and fix your chair.
Well, no, because then I got to stand up and then do it. I can't fix it while I'm sitting here.
Well, how complicated is it to fix a chair?
Well, it's not, but the fact that I'm sitting on it.
Do you need Pledge to come in and do this for you?
No. I don't want Pledge anywhere near that lever while we're on the air.
While you're on the air?
Yeah. I'll be fine. I'm doing okay. See, I'm right about your height now. So
welcome to my world. So you want to just go higher to make yourself feel better?
Well, no, I kind of like sitting up a little bit, though, because, I don't know, I feel better that way. And this, I'm right on the bar, and I don't like that.
You're having way too much fun there. I mean, somebody's going to make a gif of you bouncing in your seat like that.
I sure hope this cushion doesn't break. There's a little hole over there. Woo!
Here we go.
That'll wake you up on a Wednesday.
Here we go.
Yeah. Woo-wee. Oh, my goodness.
Candy Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Big day for the Cowboys today, by the way.
It is.
Tyron Smith retiring as a Cowboy. We'll hear from him later, hopefully, and talk a little bit about that.
You think about, at one point, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, and how dominant that line was, and how great that group was. And none of them with any postseason success.
I know.
Yet, individually, the debate yesterday, and I saw it on some of the national shows today talking about who's going to get the gold jacket first. It is crazy when you think about the talent level that Jerry had assembled and still got the same result, and that is nothing. It really is amazing when you think about everything it takes to become a Super Bowl champion. You got to have the talent. You got to have a little bit of luck. Everything has to fall into place. Dez caught it, damn it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, as far as you got to have a little bit of luck, but I'm glad you said that because I really get tired of people blaming Jerry for everything. Everybody blames it's Jerry's fault. Jerry won't do this and Jerry won't do that. But Jerry has assembled some pretty damn good football teams over the last several years that just have not lived up to what they need to do. It is hard to win a Super Bowl. Absolutely, it's hard. But still, it's not always Jerry's fault. A lot of it is. He deserves some of the blame, but not all the time.
Well, and again, when you look at it, he's the ultimate decision maker. You know, the draft that's coming up, there will be owners that are going to tell their general managers who to pick, and then there's other general managers just going to pick a team, right? Jerry's both. He's the general manager, he's the owner, but it's not Jerry by himself. And I know a lot of people out there will continue to say that. Jerry he makes the decision, but he gets input from a lot of people and does trust his staff. We've seen it time and time again, although most people just refuse to acknowledge that because it's not as fun. But at the same time, he has put some rosters together that were capable of getting it done. Yet something happens along the way, an injury, a bad call. They all don't show up against Green Bay.
2 interceptions in the first quarter. I mean, something like that.
There's always something, right? And again, missed tackle there. You could just point to, and it's not always Dak Prescott, even though there's some people, because it's easy and it's fun, that will always point to Dak Prescott, right?
Well, sure. I understand why. I'm saying.
Think a couple of years ago in San Francisco. You know, if Trayvon Diggs puts a hit on George Kittle while he was bouncing a ball down the field, Kittle probably doesn't make that catch. San Francisco doesn't score, and who the hell knows what happens in that game?
Well, Trayvon is pretty good at that Ole defense.
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that. Now I remember.
But somehow,
I'd forgotten about that.
Somehow that's Dak's fault.
Well, it was Dak's fault.
Yes.
Prescott, I heard him on the sidelines. Trayvon, get out of the way.
Yeah, don't hit him.
You got your career to think of.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
All right, that one wasn't Dak's fault. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
That one.
That one.
Yes. Look, Jerry just gets a lot of the blame. And again, he deserves a lot of the blame. But it's not always his fault. All he can do is assemble the talent, and then the talent's got to go out and get the job done, along with the coaching staff and all of that. So you assemble the talent, still fall short, then you go. Well, look, I blame Jerry. When Tony Romo, for example, and you got to give Tony Romo a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, because back then all the Cowboys thought about was offense. And they didn't really do much with the defense. And even though Romo and the Cowboys offense would put up some points, they'd get beat. Kind of reminded me of the Cincinnati Bengals this past year.
Well, in a lot of ways there was there. But you bring up Tony Romo, you think about, Cancun with him and Witten and Bobby Carpenter.
Uh-huh.
In that game, people don't talk about the touchdown right before halftime that the Giants got, or the not one but two alligator arm situations with wide receiver Patrick Creighton.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, there's been times that it's there, that you would think that it all is there, and I see that, and we're talking about those kind of glory days. Tyron Smith has there's a photo of him at the press conference. He's holding his kid wearing a 77 jersey that says Daddy on the back, and in the background, it's Jason Garrett hugging Stephen Jones.
How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Look at that. What a sweet picture that is. Both guys just smiling, just happy. Oh, Jason and Stephen looking like old buddies. You think they're brothers? I mean, maybe that's an illegitimate child, Jason Garrett?
No. They're not brothers, but
well, I'm just saying.
My God, Jason Garrett has made a lot of money through the years from the Jones family.
Yes,
he is family.
Yes, he has.
He is a family, but the red hair is a dead giveaway. He ain't related, my friend.
That's a cool shot.
It
really
is a cool shot.
Very
Let's
nice.
talk about it coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-383-7733. That's 800-383-7733.
Paid for by Wesley Financial
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Folks, right now is the ideal time to get ready for the summer season with the Quarter Moon AC $58.99 preseason special. It's a real home run. You'll have your AC ready before the summer heat hits. We'll inspect your AC's indoor and outdoor coils, filters, temperature levels, and make sure you're ready for the summer heat, all just for $58.99. So when your AC is warming up, Quarter Moon comes in like a heavy hitter.
Hey, batter, I'm going to give it some heat.
651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074EM16004.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com. It's playoff time in basketball, and to make games more exciting, make sure you download the Underdog app, one of the leading sports apps out there, and Underdog just became one of the best places to make picks during the playoffs with their extender promo. With the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using your Game 1 boost and continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one, whether your entry wins or loses. The longer the series, the bigger the boost. So download the Underdog app, sign up with promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147, 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147, or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. We were just joking during the break as we see on Twitter all the photos of Tyron Smith signing a one-day contract with the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones, and it's a real deal. It is a one-day contract, and I believe how this works is when it gets filed with the league office, he retires officially as a Dallas Cowboy. But also, the team you last played for, that you're signed to, is kind of responsible for however it works with your retirement. So cool that teams actually do this. I just hope that Jerry doesn't think that he has solved his problems at left tackle with this signing. It is a one-day deal.
One day, that's it. So for today, he solved it. He's got a new left tackle.
Dude, and you look at Tyron Smith, and he looks like he could still play.
He's a mountain of a man. I mean, the guy is huge.
We're very fortunate with what we do, and don't take it for granted. Tyron Smith doesn't like to do a lot of interviews. So I remember one year we were out at training camp when Rob Thompson was still on the Blitz, and it was Tyron and La'el Collins. And at one point in the interview, we just let La'el and Tyron go because they were just having so much fun. And we do the photo afterwards. And I'm always the short guy in the picture. But, I mean, both those dudes make Rob Thompson look like he's a tall 5'7".
Yeah, exactly.
But one of the things, as big as Tyron Smith is, it's all freaking muscle. I mean, he's not wearing a suit today. He's got a vest on. I don't know that he could wear a suit. It would bust out. But he looks like he could still play, except for we all know that he can't. And that's the unfortunate part of the game. He looks the part. He looks like he could still go. But we've all seen him play, and he couldn't even get through last year with the New York Jets.
Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah.
It happens no matter how great you are at something. Aaron, Father Time, he's knocking on your door. Answer it.
Are you talking about Aaron Rodgers?
That's who I'm talking about.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is dodging that and dodging the Pittsburgh Steelers, trying to figure out what's next for him. I mean, who knows? Although I disagree. I think Aaron Rodgers can still play at a high level. I just don't know if Pittsburgh is the place that he wants to be if he wants to try to make a playoff run. And quite frankly, Minnesota still seems to be like the spot. New Orleans is a possibility. Or does he just wait for somebody to get hurt and then jump into a perfect situation?
I think that's what he needs to do, and I think teams will come calling if they are in need of a quarterback, say after week, 3 or 4, when their guy gets hurt. That's the best thing for him because, look, you're right, Pittsburgh is not the place. I don't think they're in a tough division first and foremost with Baltimore and Cincinnati. And then you can throw in Cleveland, I guess, in some way, shape, or form. But it's difficult. The AFC is difficult on its own. Minnesota, I don't know. I guess they're waiting on J.J. McCarthy. They haven't completely closed the door on that deal for Aaron Rodgers. But, look, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you got 1 year left, maybe 2. You got to go to a place that's got a legit shot. Pittsburgh doesn't, and quite frankly, I don't think the Saints do either.
Well, I look the Saints because of their division. You know, you still have Alvin Kamara, you still have Chris Olave, you still have some weapons there. I don't know about the defense. I don't know if Lil Kellen Moore is the right coach for a guy like Aaron Rodgers, but then again, Kellen Moore probably deserves a lot more credit than what most people, including me, give him. Minnesota, they look like a team that's ready to make a run. Yet, they also seem committed to J.J. McCarthy, but he's still a big question because we didn't get to see what he could do last year. We all saw what Sam Darnold did with him last year, and I know what we all thought of Sam Darnold. But you think about the coach there, you think about the weapons they have in Minnesota, and you wonder if they're sitting there, is the discussion in the building with Minnesota, we've got all the boxes checked except quarterback. And we think we have the quarterback, but as somebody I know likes to say, we just don't know.
We don't know.
And so
exactly right.
Do you say, all right, JJ, we love you, man, but we're not ready to give you the keys to this Ferrari. We know Aaron Rodgers can drive this thing. Do you make that move? The idea that OTAs are starting, what are you really going to learn during OTAs if you're Minnesota to make a decision that JJ is the guy, that he can lead a meeting? I don't know. If I'm Minnesota, I think I'd rather go with Aaron Rodgers than the unknown, seeing that it seems like they have all the boxes checked except quarterback. And maybe they do have the right quarterback, but in that building, they're the only ones that have watched him rehab and watched him watch film and seeing what kind of leader he is in that building.
Well, I mean, they obviously thought highly of the kid coming out of college, right? They drafted him as early as they did. But, I mean, at some point in time, you got to go with him, don't you? You got to see. Now, he was hurt. Is he fully healthy? That's what you got to see at OTAs. Is the guy healthy? Can he move around? His arm's fine. That's not the issue. But I just think you've got to, at some point, you drafted this kid in the first round, you got to give him a shot, don't you? And I think he would have gotten his shot, maybe not with the way Sam Darnold played last year. But at some point, you got to give him a shot. How long do you wait? And you bring in an Aaron Rodgers for a year, and then what? I mean, if he's not ready to go now, will he be ready to go next year? I just think you got to give him a shot.
Well, and you look at Aaron Rodgers, and because of his reputation, I think that clouds people's judgment on what he did last year with a porous New York Jets team. Go look at the numbers that dude put up last year. You know, Chris Summers, he's washed, all right? Tom Guerrero, bring Rodgers to the Brahmas. Yes, the San Antonio Brahmas. They could use an Aaron Rodgers. No, I mean, he can still play high-level quarterback. It's all the other stuff that you have to deal with. But at this point, I think Aaron Rodgers is trying to go to a team that's capable of winning a championship, not go to a team just to continue to play. I don't look at Aaron Rodgers doing what Chris Paul did. Chris Paul said, you know what, I know I'm not going to win a ring, but I want to play, and I want to start, so I'm coming to San Antonio. And that dude played 82 games, started 82 games for the Spurs. I don't see Aaron Rodgers going that route. So can he win a title in Pittsburgh? You're in the same division with Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. The answer is no. The Saints, you got a better chance in the NFC, I think, than you do in the AFC if you're Aaron Rodgers. Although I don't look at the Saints as a legit Super Bowl contender, but could they be a playoff team?
Perhaps.
Perhaps, with the right quarterback.
Minnesota's in the toughest division in football.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are. You got the Bears, who are up-and-comers. You got Green Bay, who is a good team. And then you got the Detroit Lions. So, and if I remember correctly, I think Rodgers was on a championship-caliber team for a long time and only won one championship with that team.
That is correct.
So what makes anybody think that he can go to Minnesota or Pittsburgh or New Orleans or Timbuktu and lead that team to a Super Bowl? Look, I think he's done. I think his better days are behind him. Did he have some success with New York last year? Sure, okay. But when you play the New York Jets, they're pretty much out of it, right? I mean, so who took that team seriously?
I mean, again, all you could do is look up numbers and what was he able to do, and could he help a team win? I agree with you. I mean, that guy lost a lot of NFC championship games at Lambeau, but he still won 4 MVPs. He is still a Hall of Famer, but you're right. He's got one ring, and that came in 2010. There are a lot of times where you thought Green Bay was going to get more, and should he have more? But how do we judge quarterbacks? Do you have a Super Bowl ring? Have you won a Super Bowl? Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, with Aaron Rodgers, one isn't enough, right?
Well, one isn't. It's not necessarily that, Jason. It's that he's had his opportunities. I don't know how many NFC Championship games the Packers lost during his time under center. 2 or 3, I think, and I think most of those were at Lambeau Field. So, look, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a great quarterback. I'm just saying I think his time is done. And for everybody that thinks the Jets thought the same thing, oh, Aaron Rodgers, we signed him. He's our savior. He's going to come in, and we're going to be relevant again.
Yep.
And he gets hurt 4 plays into one game. It's not his fault. That stuff happens. I just don't think that he's the guy anymore. He thinks he's the guy, but I'm just not sure that anybody else thinks he's the guy.
I think he's a bum.
Well, and then you got to deal with that. So there's a lot that comes with Aaron Rodgers. But, man, if you're Pittsburgh, what do you do? Right? What, I mean, seriously, at this point.
Rudolph.
Like I said, what do you do if you're Pittsburgh? I mean, it's almost like, what was that game you played when you were a kid and you'd pull a chair out and
musical chairs?
Musical chairs.
Yeah.
Right? They played musical quarterbacks, and now they've left going, well, what are our options? There's one guy left that won't make a decision. The draft is coming up. You got the New York Giants. They've signed Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, who has Super Bowls. But nobody thinks Russ, because we've seen his play decline, is he that guy? No. They're going to have another meeting with Shedeur Sanders. Is that a real meeting? I saw Tannenbaum on TV saying, well, that could be either new information or a complete disagreement in their room. Or could it be a smokescreen that they actually might take them to increase the trade value for them because somebody's going to be looking to move up to go get a quarterback?
Look, I think if you're the Giants, it's got to be a smokescreen. What could they learn from one more visit with Shedeur Sanders? I don't know. I mean, they've got everything they need on the guy. I think every team does. If you're the Giants, look, you roll with what you've got. The quarterback draft's going to be much better next year. And you take a kid like Abdul Carter. If he's not available, I don't know if Cleveland's going to take Hunter. You got a good offensive lineman that everybody says is going to New England. I think that offensive line needs an upgrade. Maybe you take that guy. I don't know. There's just other moves you could make than drafting a guy that I don't think is game ready yet. I just don't think he's ready to go day one. I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders. So upgrade your team, and while you've got Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston, whoever starts, I'm assuming it's going to be Wilson, then you try and do the best that you can with what you got now, because Shedeur Sanders, maybe, but we just don't know, and I don't think he's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let him go to the Saints or to whoever. I don't know why the Giants are taking this meeting or doing this one more time. It just makes absolutely no sense. When you're drafting third overall, do you know the talent that is available third overall?
You got to be thorough, and if you're, Dayball or Sheen, you're like, well, there was that great restaurant we went to. Let's run up the tab before we get fired.
Could be. That could be.
Well, and you wonder, because I did see that the owner was not going on this trip, which seems a little surprising. But at the same time, how involved is the owner in this pick? Because, chances of Dayball and Shane being around when whoever they pick really develops, I don't know how high those chances are. So are they making a pick to save their job, or are they making a pick because that's what the franchise owner wants for the future?
Could be. Owners have their say-so, as they should. They're owners of the football team. I'm just not sure Shedeur Sanders is the guy. He's certainly not ready right now, and I guess he wouldn't have to be in New York. But to me, just saying that right now, that high up is a wasted pick in my mind. And you're looking at the future. Dayball's looking at this year, because if he doesn't succeed this year, he's out.
That's it.
So he's got to get something done.
Which is why I think this could be a smokescreen. What could you get for that pick? Let somebody else give you a haul in return so they could go get Sanders. And another trip out there, whoa, man, maybe they're really going to take him. I don't know. We really, if you're Shane, although we've seen that guy on the phone thanks to Hard Knocks, I don't know how hard of a bargain he drives, although he is a GM, so he's got to be pretty good at this to a degree because he got that job. But this sends the message that they really are interested at the very least, so that makes that pick more valuable if you're on the phone trying to trade up to get it.
And then you have Abdul Carter there. You have Travis Hunter, perhaps. You've got I can't, his name escapes me, the kid offensive lineman that's going to the New England Patriots.
Will Campbell,
that's him. You got him, you got all these people, and you want to take a quarterback who may or may not start for you in year 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't. To me, it would be a wasted pick to take Sanders with the 3rd pick overall.
Although last year we saw Penix go number 8, and we all thought the same thing. Well, that's dumb. You just signed Kirk Cousins.
Well, that's true, but Michael Penix is a hell of a talent.
Yeah.
And he's a hell of a lot older. Right? What is he, 25?
Yeah.
I mean, he's up there, and he's got a hell of a lot more experience. So, I don't know. Was it a crazy pick? Probably. Threw us all for a loop, but now guess what? He's your starting quarterback.
But nobody thought he would see the field for a couple of years because of the deal they signed with Kirk Cousins.
True.
So, Cousins didn't play well. Penix was impressive. All right, we're making a change. Could we see Russell Wilson continue to struggle and they give the keys to the car to Shedeur next year? I mean, you could if they go that route. Going to be interesting.
Yep.
Cannot wait for the draft next Thursday. Next Thursday, we'll be live at the Roo Pub.
Wow.
281 in Redland Road.
Very nice.
We are getting close.
Yep.
Of course, we're close to the actual playoffs in the NBA. We had the first set of play-in games last night. Entertaining basketball. Let's talk about it. And I tell you, Golden State, they look tired at the end. And if you're feeling tired towards the end of those games, you need to go to the website fixmylowt.com, especially if you're a dude over 40. That's where you need to go if you're running out of energy or getting tired easily. You need Synergenics, where they're all about helping men feel their best with TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. Synergenics has clinics all over the San Antonio area in very convenient locations, all the way up to even in New Braunfels, where you can walk in and see a real medical provider and get started. It is simple, no hassle, and guys love Synergenics because treatment plans are made just for them. That personalized treatment is key because not all guys have the same testosterone levels, and at Synergenics, Their personalized therapy goes beyond standard treatments. They've been the go-to experts in TRT for well over a decade. I'm sure you've seen those online TRT services popping up, but really, you don't want to be stuck waiting for test kits, lab results, and meds. Nobody wants to do that. You could walk into a Synergenics location right now and get it done fast and in person. And during the month of April, the consultation is free. Treatment is covered by most major insurance, so take advantage. It's a super affordable way to check your testosterone levels and change your life for the better. Because if you're feeling off, don't wait. Synergenics helps men like you get back to feeling full of energy and ready to take on anything. And if you're struggling to lose a few pounds, they can take care of that as well with prescription weight loss treatment options. Do yourself a favor and take control of your health today. Go to the website, fixmylowt.com, to book that initial appointment. fixmylowt.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, one day closer to the NFL Draft. We'll get into discussions on that, and the playoff field is closer to being set. Another round of play-in games in the books. We'll tell you who's left and who's gone home. All that and a lot more. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Folks, right now is the ideal time to get ready for the summer season with the Quarter Moon AC $58.99 preseason special. It's a real home run. You'll have your AC ready before the summer heat hits. We'll inspect your AC's indoor and outdoor coils, filters, temperature levels, and make sure you're ready for the summer heat, all just for $58.99. So when your AC is warming up, Quarter Moon comes in like a heavy hitter.
Hey, batter, I'm gonna give it some heat.
651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Tricker Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Lowe's knows that your business is built on speed and trust. That's why the Lowe's Pro Desk is here to get you what you need the moment you need it. We'll help you plan your project, calculate your materials, and pivot when your job takes an unexpected turn. And with our pro-only checkout and dedicated pro parking, you have what you need to tackle your job and be back on the job in no time. Just visit us at the Pro Desk. Lowe's knows pros. We help. You save.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
My name's John Clay Wolf. I'm the founder of GiveMeTheVin.com. Every month, for the next 10 months, everyone that sells us their car to GiveMeTheVin.com will get put in a drawing for a $25,000 winner. We're going to pull one of you out of a hat, and somebody's going to win $25 grand. So we're paying more, and you might win $25 grand. GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's Best Car Buyer for nothing.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hey,
Hey, San Antonio, multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country, it all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATS.
Did you know that 70% of divorces are filed by women? She's already thinking about it. I urge you, do not get caught off guard. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. Divorce is tough. It's emotional, challenging, and can upend everything you've worked hard for. But here's the truth. You have a choice. You can either let your spouse dictate the terms, or you can take control and protect your financial future. At Barton & Associates, this isn't just about getting through the process. It's about protecting what you've built, securing your assets, and ensuring you have the resources to move forward with confidence. You've worked hard for everything you have, and we're here to help safeguard it and avoid unnecessary losses. If you're serious about protecting yourself through the divorce process and securing your future, Barton & Associates is the team you need by your side. Call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Appreciate you tuning in on this Wednesday on the radio. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. You can always subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You can comment there as well.
You can. A lot of people already have.
Yep.
And they always do.
Including a guy named John. John says, a year ago today, I discovered this show with my 2-week-old daughter when we were coming back from Whataburger. She listens every day with me and for some reason likes when Joe does his hump day. Every time she would make a happy scream and smile and giggle.
Yeah, I'm popular with the kids, that hump day thing.
Kids and old ladies.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Women over 70.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it, all right?
I'll wait.
Thank you, John. And I hope your daughter, I don't know what her name is, but
he doesn't say.
Hope she's happy.
I mean,
I like making children smile.
She was 2 weeks old a year ago today. I'm glad that you remember the anniversary of when you discovered the show.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Show's been around for 17 years, so 3 years with this group.
3 plus.
Crazy how time flies.
It does, man. It's crazy. You're right. You're exactly right. I was talking about that with somebody, and the other day, I don't even remember where it was, but that it had already been 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts.
Jacob Eric says, I miss Wednesdays with Wade already. Wednesdays with Wade not going anywhere. We're still going to do that Brahmas segment at 4:35 today, although with today it'll be Payton Pardee in for Wade Phillips, who's taken a leave of absence from his head coaching duties with the San Antonio Brahmas. Officially personal reasons, but I think we all know he's been dealing with illness, hasn't been feeling good. In fact, 2 of the 3 games this year, he wasn't on the sidelines. One, I think he was up in the booth, the first one, sidelined for the second one, and then not feeling good enough to even go out onto the field last weekend. So we just hope that he gets better soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. I really do. But he's decided to take a little time off, time away from the team, the rigors of everything that a head coach goes through, and try to deal with whatever it is he's dealing with, and hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later.
Definitely. When we're thinking about anniversaries, it's now 7 years for the Spurs to be not a playoff team.
Wow.
7.
Seems like a long time, doesn't it?
It feels longer, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah, it really does, because we've had to go through, a tank year, which was miserable, although I guess the result was good.
Yes.
And then we went through this past year, which the Spurs had to face a variety of things, a lot of adversity going on, some very serious business, in fact, to start the season with Greg Popovich. So It hasn't been the best of years for the San Antonio Spurs.
It really has. And you think about this offseason, and guess we can talk about it now because it's officially here.
It is.
How important this offseason is. Still no decision publicly made anyway, announcement from the Spurs on the status of Greg Popovich moving forward. Will he stay as head coach? Will he announce his retirement? I can't imagine they'll go with interim coaching through this offseason, very important offseason. And a lot of talk about, all right, Atlanta, they did their part last night. They lost. They got to do that again, so we get into the lottery. Cool. We've got our own lottery pick. We'll have money in free agency. We've got a lot of tradable assets, whether it's picks or players. Devin Vassell, can I offer anybody a Jeremy Sohan? What about a Keldon Johnson? It's going to be another offseason of trade rumors for that dude. And the Suns are going to explode. Devin Booker, and there's some comments on our YouTube chat about Book. That dude is a Sun for life and wants to be a Sun for life. Now, Luka wanted to be a Maverick for life, and we saw how that worked out. But I would be really surprised if they moved Devin Booker. Kevin Durant, I think they will. It just hadn't worked. I've been saying for weeks, a Kevin Durant-type player is what the Spurs need. That three-point shooter, that sniper, veteran guy, the mix in with the young guys, because the foundation is there. I love the idea of Kevin Durant coming to San Antonio for a couple of years.
$55 million a year?
Sure.
Okay, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
$55 million a year.
It ain't my check to write.
No, it's not. But
and the Spurs have the money.
Well, De'Aaron Fox hasn't got an extension yet.
He
at
will.
Least publicly. Maybe that was an under-the-table move. I hope so, because when you make a trade like that, you assume that those details are just needing to be, tweaked a little bit. But he's got to get signed. And we disagree on this because I think, look, Kevin Durant is a hell of a player. I mean, he still is a hell of a player. He's going to be 37 years old by the time the season begins.
Yep.
And I just don't know. I mean, it's the Chris Paul situation all over again. You just bring in a guy to, I don't know, shore up, put a plug in a hole that you're going to have to unplug soon.
Well, I think he's more than Chris Paul because, Chris Paul was a one-year deal. I don't know that who knows if Chris Paul comes back next year, and I wouldn't be opposed to Chris Paul coming back next year if he is willing to take a role coming off the bench because I want to see Steph Castle in the starting lineup. Kevin Durant would be your starter, and you look at his games played this year, you look at his shooting percentage, more importantly, his three-point shooting percentage, it is what the Spurs need. Now, I was watching McAfee before I came to work today, and they had Quentin Richardson on as a guest talking NBA, and they were talking about Kevin Durant, and Q just went all, San Antonio, and surprised the group there on the McAfee show.
To me, it's like the Phoenix situation was just, it just didn't work out. I don't really point fingers at this person, that person. Sometimes you put things together and it just doesn't work out, and I think that was that. But like moving forward, man, I don't know where he could go, but I wouldn't. Like I said, I one of my places that I would love to see him is in San Antonio. I wouldn't mind seeing him playing with Wemby, and they got a nice young.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Hold on, I've not heard that name. Because we got a Boston Celtics fan here who's like, bring him out to Boston.
Why not?
He's made enough money.
No,
Miami Heat people are like, you know what? He wants to sign up for the Riley experience at this stage of his career. Definitely bring him down.
If they still had Jimmy, I would say yes to Miami. If they still had Jimmy.
San Antonio, though, with him and Wemby.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the Wizards get Cooper
and
Flag.
Fox, they still got Chris Paul. They got a lot of young guys. Stephon Castle he's gonna be a star in this league. I'm telling you, if y'all don't know it already, Stephon Castle is gonna be big time. So I think they got a lot of young guys over there. But I mean, obviously the feature would be Wemby, KD, Fox, Chris Paul, and that core right there. But I think they could be pretty good if he went there.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would have to give up and how that would all work, and but I mean they got a lot of young assets too, where I still feel like they could still be sufficient after they get rid of something, like have to give up some stuff.
Well, he's right, but one thing he said, I don't know if Chris Paul's going to be here next year. That remains to be seen. Kevin Durant's in the final year of his contract as of now. So you would have to decide, if you're the San Antonio Spurs, are you going to sign him to an extension, which he would most likely want with whoever he goes to. So that's going to be expensive as hell, not to mention the assets you're going to have to give up for him. I just don't think it fits in San Antonio. When it comes down to the dollars and cents, I'm not worried about what they'd have to give up for him. If it's a Devin Vassell and a Keldon Johnson and a Jeremy Sohan, whatever you have to move, it would be worth it. But then you've got to sign him to an extension. You got to sign him. You got to sign De'Aaron Fox, and you got to go from there. And so do the Spurs have that amount of money to invest in a Kevin Durant?
I think so. And if it's not Durant, somebody that is a sniper from three. That is what they need, and they need a big alongside Wemby, which they might be able to get in the draft. So I like the idea. I think they could figure out the money part of it. I know De'Aaron Fox technically isn't signed yet, but I think, wink, wink, when that trade was made, everything was understood that he's going to come here and he's going to sign when he's allowed to and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not worried about, oh, no, is De'Aaron Fox going to sign? He pushed his way out of Sacramento and had one destination in mind, and it was with the Spurs. And quite frankly, during the season, it was after the pop stroke. And so he came here with uncertainty about the head coach. What?
Nothing.
Thinking about the golf place over there. I know. Yeah. I almost hesitated there. Pop stroke. But he even came here with the uncertainty of head coach. So, and maybe that would factor in with Durant. We do know Durant with Team USA has relationship with Greg Popovich. I think it would be a good fit. 3 years probably at the most, but it's that mix of veteran guy with this young team, and he does fill a need. There was two parts of that really caught my attention when Quentin Richardson said that on Pat McAfee. One, he agrees with me. Kevin Durant would be perfect here. Two, how off the radar the Spurs are nationally, even with a guy like Wemby. Not in the playoffs for a long time. You're thinking about Durant. You're thinking about all these big teams that they could go to, whether they're, Miami or because the Spurs, while they've always kind of operated, on the back burner, which is the way they liked it during the Tim Duncan time frame, but they are completely off the radar. Like, I think McAfee watching them was going through his head, San Antonio, who's in San Antonio? Oh, the Spurs. Yeah, they do have an NBA team, don't they? That's how it felt watching it. They're that far off the radar.
Well, and I don't know why. I mean, Wemby is here. I think he's on everybody's radar.
Yeah, 2 years and no playoffs.
Well, that's true. But, I mean, look, let me just ask this question, and I mean this sincerely. Booker, Beal, Kevin Durant.
Yep.
You don't make the playoffs.
Yep.
It tells me all I need to know.
Well, I blame Bradley Beal.
You blame him. or Mike Budenholzer, I guess. It was all his fault.
Well, that's what Matt Ishbia thought. He's paying him $40 million not to come to work.
Well, I mean, he's paying a lot of coaches now not to come to work, which is good for them. And I'm sure if I'm a coach, I'm signing up in Phoenix. I'm going to win. Give me a $50 million deal, and I'm good. If you fire me in 1 year, I'm okay with it. I don't know. Look, it would be great for ticket sales. Spurs fans would go nuts. There's no question about it. People would be happy. Spurs would make a lot of money through ticket sales, season ticket sales, all of that kind of stuff, the attention, every bit of it. You're absolutely right. That would be fantastic. I would just like to see this team start to build a future, and I don't think Kevin Durant is a part of that future. He's a bridge. That's all that he is, not to mention the fact he's going to be damn expensive because you're going to have to sign him to an extension. You're going to have to, and that extension is not going to be cheap.
It's not. And again, I hear what you're saying. He's not a 10-year player. I get that. But I think you can get 3 years out of him easy. And if that helps bridge the gap until you can go find a real sharpshooter, a good three-point threat that can do Kevin Durant type things, because we don't have that. We thought we had that with Devin. We don't have that. Would he fit this group? You look at his games played the last 2 years in Phoenix, even though he's getting up there, still playing a lot of minutes. He's still playing the majority of the games. So I think that would be a good fit. And obviously you have to visit with them and make sure that whoever the coach is, that he understands the role. But he's been in situations before where it's worked, like in Golden State, where there's nights you got to be the guy, there's other nights you got to take a back seat to Steph Curry or Draymond Green. So I think he could come in and fit nicely with this group, not to mention what he's had to do with the Olympic team. Might be one of the greatest American Olympic basketball players ever, and that's putting a bunch of alpha dogs in there and a bunch of Batmans to no Robins, if you will. So I think that could work, and I want a good mix of veterans and young players moving forward, and knowing that the veterans aren't going to be here for 10 years with Wemby, but enough to where you could start building on the success.
I just don't think he's a great player. I don't think there's no way you can make an argument otherwise. Kevin Durant is a great player. He has been a great player. Again, he's getting long in the tooth, and he's going to be expensive. And at that point in time, you're hoping he's been durable. Will that continue? Chris Paul surprised the hell out of everybody, including me.
Yep.
So you certainly can't bring both of those, and it'd be expensive. Can you bring anybody else in after that, or is that all you think we need? I mean,
we need a big.
Well, sure. So you draft a big, hopefully. You get that done in the draft, and hopefully take care of that. But I'm just saying, I just think it would hamstring you in a lot of ways. Because you're going to end up, you already owe him $55 million this year if you bring him in, and then he's going to want an extension of, okay, you give him a 2-year extension, that's going to be at least $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a lot of money. It'd be very expensive for a guy that's going to be pushing 40 by the end of that career.
I don't know. I'd rather give KD 55 than Jeremy Sohan 30.
Well, I would.
I mean,
that goes without saying.
I'm just saying. All these guys make a ridiculous amount of money. So, and if the Spurs have the money to do that, go spend it. I don't know. It's going to be a fun offseason.
Well, they've been rumored as one of the teams chasing that guy, but so have the other teams in the bigger markets. So where does KD want to be?
And like Quentin said, I mean, if Jimmy Butler's still in Miami, that actually might make sense. I can't imagine he would want to go to Miami at this point.
Well, the Knicks have been rumored. The Houston Rockets have been rumored. There's a lot of teams out there that are obviously going to be interested in the services of one Kevin Durant. You just have to it's going to be expensive to bring Kevin Durant in. So can you handle that, and what will it do for you in the immediate future?
I like it. I like it. We can agree to disagree, that's for sure. We can agree we learned a new term today.
We did?
We did. Leaves in the gutter. What does that mean? We will explain coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, nobody plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. You can text the word bail to 474747 or even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7, offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
To the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vegas. What a wild finish.
Your home for the NFL.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Guys over 40, tired of low energy, just not feeling like yourself? Testosterone replacement therapy by Synergenics is the answer. Don't waste time waiting for online services when you can start today. Treatment is tailor-made just for you, and it is covered by most major insurance. Visit one of their conveniently located clinics, see a medical provider, and feel great today. During April, the consultation is free. Why wait when you can be seen now? Book your appointment at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. Feel like you again.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the news of the day, the UFL announced today that San Antonio Brahmas head coach Wade Phillips is taking a leave of absence from his role due to personal reasons. Phillips fell ill before the Brahmas game in Detroit on Sunday. Offensive coordinator Payton Pardee will serve as head coach in the interim. Crazy story, the Baylor Bears men's basketball team is starting from scratch, literally. 9 players have hit the transfer portal, 4 exhausted their eligibility, 1's going pro.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along here on this Hump Day Wednesday.
Hump Day!
Hump Day!
Oh, the good old days, right?
Mm-hmm. Hump Day!
What's that dude's name? Sam the camel?
Caleb.
Caleb, Sam.
Same
Hell's
thing.
the difference?
Yeah, well.
It's a camel.
Sure.
I miss that dude. Best commercial, was it Geico?
Yes.
Geico ever had? There's so many insurance companies, right? Geico, Progressive, Liberty Mutual, Farmers.
Yes.
All over the place. Hump day.
Hump day?
Yeah. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
A lot happier for some. Let's do the headline blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
You know, if there is a poop in public story, we've got to talk about it here.
Of course we do.
Reinego put that in his contract.
Well, especially this one.
Oh.
I mean, this is like nobody's ever heard of this.
We got a couple of crappy stories today. Trust me. Well, we're going to get to that one. This one's even better.
Yeah.
Headline: Woman arrested for taking a dump in convenience store's walk-in beer cooler.
Now, when you got to go, right? I mean, if it was the bathroom locked, and you said, well, I'll go in here and just do that. Nutty story.
Well,
I hope it wasn't nutty, but it could have been.
Might have had some corn.
Maybe.
It's from Hanover, Pennsylvania.
Woo.
A woman, 47-year-old woman named Crystal Goss, walked into a Royal Farms convenience store. She walked right in the store, walked into their beer cave, the walk-in beer cave, moved some stuff on a shelf, and took a dump on the shelf.
The worst part about that, it was all caught on camera.
Fortunately, they haven't released a video.
I'm pretty happy about that.
That I've seen. It was just before 5 p.m. on April 7th. What I find interesting, we've all been in the beer caves before. They've got those shelves in there that have the what's the term? The slits. It's not like a solid shelf,
right.
Because she sat down on the shelf and took a dump. Or I'm assuming she sat down because she moved stuff out of the way to pull her pants down and took a crap. And
now, see, that brings up a picture. I hope she adjusted herself where she was.
I don't know.
The hiney hole was over
I would
a
hope.
Slit.
I would hope because, well, according to the arrest affidavit, $78.85 worth of product in the beer cave were damaged during the incident. So I assume that stuff landed on boxes and they said, we can't sell this.
$80?
$80
So that's a lot of beer.
Well, it is. I don't know. Maybe it was runny. What's crazy, though, is on the video, she does her business, pulls up her pants, and then she walked right out of the store and got in her car and left. Apparently, this store is like a mile from her house. She just wasn't going to make it. But at some point, don't you buy a beer and a snack? Don't you do something at that store? I mean, you recently stopped at a store and had to use the facilities the proper way, but you bought something there.
Well, I feel bad if I don't.
Well, yeah.
You can't just walk into the store and use the restroom and then leave. I feel like I have to buy something. Yeah, she should have picked up whatever she pooped on and took it up to the counter and said, I'm paying for this.
No.
Holy cow. And what I found funny is she's charged with a misdemeanor count of open lewdness and summary counts of scattering rubbish.
Rubbish. Now,
wow.
I know what you're thinking. She's 47 years old. And as of this report, at least, still has her job as the Director of Food and Nutrition for the Hanover School District.
Wow. It doesn't sound like, I don't see anywhere in here where she was drunk.
No, it's
or on drugs or anything like that.
She's a mile from home and she couldn't make it.
I wondered if they pissed her off in some form or fashion at this convenience store.
I mean, you wonder because if you're running in now, it doesn't say this, but like if she really had to go, like it was, she had a turd playing peekaboo with her underwear and it was time to go and somebody was in the bathroom and What else are you going to do? Because apparently she doesn't know about leaves in the gutter. Now, quite frankly, I didn't know about leaves in the gutter until today. Have you heard that term before?
I had never heard that term until today.
Pledge, have you heard that term, leaves in the gutter?
Never heard it in my life.
Anybody out there, raise your hand. If you're on YouTube, have you heard the term leaves in the gutter? No? This courtesy of one Scott Van Pelt. Yes, SVP. Now, granted, he learned the term from Mark Schlereth. Stink. Now, Stink has been on this show many times. You see him every year at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And somebody remind me to ask him next time we have him on about leaves in the gutter. But Scott Van Pelt was on the New Heights podcast with Jason and Travis Kelce and talked about the time he almost took a dump live on television because, well, his stomach was upset.
You tweeted this at the New Heights account. Please elaborate. How close did you or Mark Schlereth come to shitting your pants on air?
Okay, so, all right, Mark Schlereth, shout to Stink.
Yeah, Stink.
So there was a day where I was having a rough day, had a little gurgle in the belly. Said to Stink, there's a decent chance that while we're sitting out here, I might my pants. And Stink says to me, oh, it's fine. It's fine. You just need to put some leaves in the gutter. I'm like, excuse me? He's like, you don't know leaves in the gutter? I'm like, what's leaves in the gutter? He's like, you just take a big giant ball of toilet paper and you ball it up and you put it in your ass crack. And then while you're sitting there, you know, in your boxers, it's basically like a diaper of sorts.
You're just making a grown man's diaper.
I wasn't going to full on my pants. It was going to be just a short kind of a moment. Is this a fart? Oh, it's hot. No, that wasn't a fart. And so I had leaves in the gutter, and I'm happy to say I did not need the leaves in the gutter, but fellas, maybe ladies, when in doubt, if you need to go leaves in the gutter, there's a pro tip from Mark Schlereth to me to you. And that's the story of how Scott Van Pelt almost his pants on TV.
Mm-hmm. Leaves in the gutter.
Learn something new every day.
I'm telling you. Now, you may know this. Pledge might know this. Everybody listening might know this. Why do they call Schlereth stinky?
Well, not stinky. Stink.
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 Is there a reason?
I don't know.
I don't know
I think
either.
I've asked him before. I want to say, and don't quote me on this. I hate this. But I want to say that he used to not shower before games, just to make it rougher for defensive linemen. But I don't know that to be true.
That have you ever been around, and I know you have, after a football game, everybody stinks.
Yes.
I mean, when you're in those pads,
yes,
you stink.
Yes.
You just do. I don't care if you took a shower right before the game, you're going to stink.
No, but he really wants to show up for the games not smelling good.
Well, then I guess you need leaves in the gutter. And just leave it there.
Well, I mean, I think that's different. I think you totally misunderstood what leaves in the gutter are for. It's not about showering.
It's a diaper.
It's a well.
It contains poo.
I mean, if you got a little leakage, it's there to maybe
what I'm
not
saying.
Show up on the white pants.
And it stinks.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I would assume.
Yeah. Leaves in the gutter.
Interesting.
We've all learned something new every day. Credit Scott Van Pelt and Mark Schlereth for the education.
Well, in knowing our listeners, at least in the YouTube page, and probably a bunch of you driving around, somebody's going to try this. Well, several will try this.
I'm curious, though, whether you're on YouTube, you can comment there, 210-656-ESPN. You could also call us and tell us, one, have you heard this before, or is this called something else? Leaves in the gutter. But I'm curious because we've got a lot of truckers that listen to this show, a lot of guys that are driving around a lot, delivering stuff, people that are in and out of their car all the time. I guess if, occupational hazard, that could happen. So maybe this is more common than we think.
It might be.
I mean, you worked in TV 25 years. You ever damn near poop yourself on television?
Not on television, no, but like right before, you have a bad dinner or something and you got to run to the bathroom and yeah. But I never that I remember came close to doing anything on the air.
I mean, there were people like just Google George Brett. I mean, he talks about pooping himself twice a year. I mean, that video is just hilarious. He was in Vegas. We won't go into it, but if you want to entertain yourself after the show, after 6 o'clock, go find that. Don't do it now. Go find it a little bit later. Miguel Lozano says, never heard it before, but I'm going to try it next time I'm camping.
Why, Miguel? I want to know why, if you're camping, you can just go behind a bush or anywhere and poo. Were you worried about a bear? Snake? I'm serious. I don't know. I'm not. You got to explain that, Miguel. I'm telling you, I told you this, that a majority or a percentage of our listeners will try this at some point.
Oh, there will be somebody that will
in the near future.
Absolutely.
And they will chart just to make sure it works.
Well, I mean, we need to know, is this, what's the word I'm looking for?
Is leaves in the gutter a proven stoppage of a chart?
Will it work?
Yeah.
Somebody else guinea pig this, not me. Somebody else needs to guinea pig this.
Somebody will. I guarantee you they will. Interesting.
What's going on in college athletics right now?
Unbelievable.
You figure there's going to be things that happen that finally get suits in the room. Not only with the former Tennessee quarterback, but what's happening up with Baylor basketball. Something has to get done. We'll give you the latest on what's going on. Coming up here on the Blitz, here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. In fact, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
The Morning Huddle.
Sam Stevens and Ryu Hatsut. Soon.
Hashatune.
What I did wasn't.
No, that's not how you said it. You said.
And what did you say?
Hashatune.
See, you sound like you sneezed. Bless you.
You can't say that either.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Join us for San Antonio's premier Fiesta event, Taste of the Northside, presented by H-E-B, Thursday, May 1st at 6. Experience gourmet food and wine tastings, sip on elevated spirits and cold brews, and enjoy live entertainment at our new location, The Rock at La Cantera. All proceeds benefit Brighton Center, serving children with disabilities and developmental delays in San Antonio. Limited all-inclusive tickets are $300 in advance and can be purchased at tasteofthenorthside.org. Viva Fiesta!
George gets justice. In an instant, a careless driver turns your life upside down. You're hurt, the bills pile up, and work stops. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, your consultation is free. No fees, no pressure, just real help. Justice starts with one call. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by tax relief advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147 or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
If you owe money to the IRS, they'll come after you until you are flat broke. Don't just roll over and take it. The IRS has changed. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a huge break, as much as 87%. Haven't filed a return for years? It's time for Guardian Tax. Their happy clients are celebrating.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Is tax debt ruining your life? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax understands how the IRS works. Personal or business, this is the fresh start you've been praying for. You're scared of the IRS, and for good reason. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Visit GuardianTax.com or call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-900-1717. 800-900-1717. 800-900-1717.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is Andrew Monaco, and the Aggies play here. 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Did do some Googling. Stink, Mark Schlereth, his nickname. All the people calling in, he didn't poop himself. Nor was it about showering. It was about fish. According to this article, Mark told the story about his rookie year. He was telling everybody his rookie year with the Washington Redskins. He told a story about stinkheads, which were salmon heads buried and eaten by Native Alaskans. So his teammates started calling him stinkhead and then eventually shortened it to stink. That's disappointing.
Oh, it really is. It's kind of, yeah, it's disappointing.
Really disappointing.
Anticlimactic.
It's like when you find out, why do they call the band Papa Roach? And you go, It's like when you think, band names. Yeah, that's weird. It must be this. It must be that. And then you hear it and you go, I was way off. Way off. You never know how somebody gets a nickname.
Stink.
Yeah. What kind of nickname do you think we're going to end up giving Nico, how do I say his name?
Iamaleava.
Yeah, whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines, I suppose. Apparently, while he's in the portal, and his listed as do not call. So when you go in the portal, you can label yourself that way so people don't call you. You reach out to teams. Generally, when you go into the portal labeled that way, you've already got a deal and people know you're off the board. With Nico, it feel like, highest bidder. And I thought there would be a bidding war for him. Glad that there was not, because the BS way in which he left Tennessee. Although, according to Colin Cowherd in this report from Yahoo, Nico will end up at UCLA. Don't know money yet. The family claims it was not about the money with Tennessee, but with the Tennessee offense.
BS.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Dude, please, don't. So this whole $4 million thing was just it was a smokescreen because we didn't like the offense. Give me a break. If you didn't like the offense, well, you go to the coach and say, hey, coach, what's going on? Are we going to tweak this thing? Is it not good? You were a redshirt freshman last year and made $2 million.
Yep.
That just pisses me off. And shame on UCLA, unless they're just getting him at a bargain.
Well, and they might be because nobody's offering him up $4 million. And quite frankly, as a redshirt freshman, he didn't do anything last year to earn that. Maybe he thought he could get that from Tennessee. He's going to be the guy. This is what other quarterbacks seem to be making. But I credit Tennessee for holding their ground, and some of the other places like North Carolina and USC and, apparently Tulane had a nice offer, but there was too much back and forth with the family. They
didn't like the offense at Tulane, apparently.
I mean, look, I don't blame the family for backtracking a little bit and trying to do some damage control, but
don't be stupid about it. Now, that's the stupidest thing. Say something that makes a little more sense. Oh, well, it's not about that. It's about the Tennessee offense. That's just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just dumb.
The whole thing. And if he truly does end up at UCLA, it will be very interesting to see the financial report. What is he getting? Does he ultimately get what he wants? Because I think that's what everybody needs to be paying attention to, especially all these coaches. It's great if you're Mario Cristobal and say, dude, if you want to hold out, you might as well get out. We're not going to play that game. Tennessee, they took a stand. They've got a problem now, Tennessee does, because they got to go find a quarterback. Portal window is now open. So it will be very interesting to see what happens. Jeff Traylor was asked about this yesterday after the UTSA spring practice. And Traylor's already lost to the portal, who we thought was going to be the starting running back next year. But for the most part, it looks like the UTSA team is here, although the portal window opens today. Jeff didn't really want to talk about the portal window. Instead, he went with, one of those Trailerism analogies.
My wife gives me hell all the time because I always watch 1883, 1923, Yellowstone just over and over and over and over. And she's like, why do you do that to yourself? And it's just always a great reminder to see, how, tough people do tough things. And you got to be tough. And you got to just stay true to who you really are. And it's not easy, man. And being a football coach is extremely easy to compare to going down the Oregon Trail or try to keep your ranch getting taken from you.
He brings up a good point, right? I mean, it was pretty tough back in those days. I'll give him that. But look, again, when Jeff Traylor first got here, would you ever see the guy depressed, unhappy?
No.
Never. You talk to him now, he's stressed out to the max. It seems like, to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of all of this nonsense. It's just unbelievable to me that this is happening. You got this kid from Tennessee who, if the report's true and he goes to UCLA, I'm going to be shocked because there was a report just about 2 hours ago that said for the Power Conference general manager said there was no market for this kid. So I'm wondering if UCLA got a hell of a bargain with him, or he's ended up if he makes less than what he was going to get at Tennessee, or more than he was going to get. I can't wait to see the numbers on that, if that report is true.
Now, the flip side of this, I don't care what you think about Urban Meyer, because I think this is a ridiculous comment. Although, think about what Urban Meyer is saying here on the 3X Option Show. He's just said, and this is just coming across Twitter now, all kinds of reactions to it. And this does, quite frankly, explain a lot about what you have to do in coaching in today's college football world. And, let's take this and put it on the Oregon Trail, as Traylor just said. Urban Meyer said, quote, Tennessee is screwed. They got a problem. Everybody's saying, nice job, Tennessee, making a stand. I've got a little comment on that. Tennessee plays Florida usually every year in October. Can you imagine that game's going the other way and Coach Heupel grabs the microphone and stands on the 50-yard line to Neyland Stadium and says, "It's okay, I made a stand way back when." Because Tennessee is now without a quarterback because they made a stand. This coming from Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
And you're a coach. I appreciate the coach taking a stand, but Urban Meyer, as dumb as it sounds, is not wrong here because now Tennessee has to go find a quarterback, or it could be a long year for Tennessee. And are those fans and those boosters going to give Heupel any grace because he made a stand in April when a guy wanted to double his NIL salary?
Well, I hope so. I hope they do. Because what are you going to do? You're going to give in to these brats who want to double whatever they were getting and they don't want to play? I mean, seriously, is that what you want to do? I mean, you open that door, you may be screwed down the line. When's that booster going to say, no, I'm not writing another check because of some kid who is not satisfied with $2.5 million, he wants $4 million? No, I'm done. Look, eventually, I don't care how rich these boosters are. I'm convinced that at some point in time, you don't win championships after I've written $1 bazillion worth of checks to you, then I'm stopping.
Yep.
I mean, and not everybody can win a championship, mind you. They can't do it. So not everybody's going to be happy at the end of the season. The only team that was happy this year was Ohio State. That's it. Nobody else was happy. Eventually, the money train is going to come to an end. And so you give in to these people, and then what? You're going to get fired anyway.
Well, and you look at – I'm with you. You can't give in. You got to make a stand, and hopefully UCLA didn't meet this kid's demands and give him $4 million. I mean, his dad is being compared to LeVar Ball with no personality.
And what was number two's uncle?
Yeah, Denny.
Yeah, that guy.
It is interesting because to a degree, I think Urban's right. You have a guy that could be a high draft pick in the NFL, quarterback that's going to win you some football games in the SEC, and he walks out at the spring game. His timing, while sucks, probably best for him leverage-wise to get maximum dollars. And if UCLA does that, that opens a can of worms for a lot of people. Up the road in Waco, Baylor, the Baylor Bears have lost every player on their roster from this basketball season. 4 graduated, 1's going to the NFL, and the other 9 guys with eligibility have all hit the portal. Now, they're going to get some transfers in, but they've got not one player from this year's team that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That is planning on being back in Waco next year. How do you build programs with that kind of turnover? I mean, it feels like half of the college basketball players are in the portal right now, if not more.
35% of nationwide.
All right, so not half, but close.
35, but think about that. 35% of the players are in the transfer portal. And this is basketball, it's all of it. But, I mean, that is an astounding number, and that's today. What's it going to be like next year, the year after that, until they get a hold of it? Look, the kids, again, I think this guy from Tennessee got a bad rap. He got some bad advice from his uncle. Unless UCLA caved. And even if UCLA caves, so what? Is there any chance UCLA is going to do anything in the Big Ten? No, not even with this guy. So good luck to you. It baffles me. The NCAA has got no balls. None. They never have, and they have allowed this circus to go on like it is now. And now, look, we're paying the price with this kind of nonsense. And until something happens, but they have no recourse, the NCAA, because you get states like California and other states that make their own rules. Until there's something federally done, this is going to continue, and it's going to continue to be a circus.
And it's going to drive coaches out of the profession. It just will, and you just wonder. Because it's not just on the coach now, especially with the revenue share model that is going to kick in. It's going to be athletic directors. It's going to be presidents, not just coaches that have to fall on the sword when things don't go well. I mean, college athletics is changing. We know that. Now, when we've watched games, Can't say that we've really noticed much of a difference.
Not yet?
Not yet. But what's going to be interesting when we're watching the draft this year, it's not going to be this player and all career highlights from one team. I mean, hell, the first pick in the draft is going to be Cam Ward, and there'll be UIW highlights. There'll be Washington State highlights, and there'll be University of Miami highlights. I mean, the amount of schools most of these players go to now is pretty incredible. And I do think we know Cam Ward is going number 1 overall. Did you see him on that game the other day? He was playing an online game, and he was asked who his favorite players are, and he's like, the best running backs, man, it's Tony Pollard. And he was naming all his future Tennessee Titan teammates as the best in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. That's not up for debate, I don't think. The Titans are going to take Cam Ward with the number 1 pick overall. But, look, in a Cam Ward situation, and everybody else has come before, was a little bit different than what's taking place now. Now guys want to negotiate. They want their agents. Their agents are giving them advice. Their parents are giving them advice. The parents, now are getting involved in stuff that they probably shouldn't be involved in. If you're hiring an agent, let the agent take care of it. It baffles me what's going on. And the issue is we talked about this 2 years ago. We saw this kind of nonsense coming. There are no guardrails. There are no rules in place. Even with this revenue share, somebody's going to file a lawsuit. If this gets approved eventually, somebody's going to file a lawsuit. There'll be another lawsuit after that, then another lawsuit after that, until you get something in place like the NFL, like the NBA, as we're seeing now with basketball. This nonsense is going to take. Baylor Bears, good luck going to watch a basketball game this fall.
Oh, they'll find guys.
I'm sure they'll find guys, sure.
Now, here's the thing, and I know we're up against the break, so we could carry this over if you want. Joshua Jimenez with a comment on our YouTube page. Coaches do the same thing and get praised for it. This kid does it. He's horrible. It's the NIL game. Get used to it. The difference when coaches leave is, generally speaking, there is a buyout that they have to pay. And whether they pay it or the school pays it. If the coach gets fired, he gets paid the remainder of his contract. This Nico kid got $2.5 million last year from Tennessee
for doing nothing.
And he
practiced. Yeah.
But I mean, again, but he just ups and leaves. There's no buyout. There's no contract. There's nothing that's technically binding him. There's no penalty for him to leave. There is a financial penalty when a coach leaves, or gets fired. That's one of the biggest issues, and every time I hear somebody make that coach analogy, you're not wrong. But although I don't know if coaches get praised for it, a lot of times they get slammed because coaches have to lie. So I'm not looking at that job. I love it here, and then the next day they're having a press conference wearing a new shirt.
That's one Aggie basketball or baseball coach, I think, did that, right?
Yeah, most recently.
Yeah.
But the idea, though, that there is a buyout. Let's use Jeff Traylor, for example. When he was looked at for other jobs, one of the knocks, if you will, on Jeff Traylor was the buyout that he had. And Jeff Traylor said on this show, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said when he signed his big contract with UTSA, he put those big buyouts in there, showing them his commitment, because chances were people weren't going to pay that big buyout. So that was his way of giving back to get what he got in his 10-year contract when he signed it a couple of years ago. So, but there's nothing binding these players to a school, and there's no financial penalty when they bounce. Now, kids going from Tennessee to California, so he's got to go pay California taxes on that, so he's losing money one way or the other.
There are no guard rules. There's no rules to this. It's just you can get in there. The entire Baylor basketball team. Look, you can think whatever you want. You can say that's an easy fallback. Well, coaches do it, so the kids ought to be able to too. If I recall, this used to be amateur sports.
Used to be.
Coaches were professionals. They had contracts they had to sign. Let's have the kids sign contracts then. If you want them to be the same as the coaches and live under the same rules as a coach, great. Let's sign a contract. then there's a buyout. If UCLA comes calling to Tennessee, well, you can have the kid and you can negotiate with him, but you know what? It's going to cost you $5 million. Let's do the same thing. If we want to compare coaches to players, let's do that. Let's absolutely do that. And make the rules the exact same. Players, coaches have to live by the same rules. Then if that makes guys like Joshua Jimenez happy, fine. There you go. Same rules, same understanding. We'll do the same thing. Will that make you happy?
It's, again, they've got to come out. And you look at what's happening in Waco, what's happening at Tennessee. Maybe that finally gets suits in the room to come up with something. And whatever they come up with won't be the perfect solution, but it's got to be better than the wild, wild west that we're dealing with now. It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Fiesta right around the corner. We've got some tickets to give away. I don't know. We might do Oyster Bake, might do Nyosa, could do Alamo Heights night. Stick around. Your chance to win coming up on the Blitz on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, one day closer to the NFL Draft. We'll get into discussions on that, and the playoff field is closer to being set. Another round of play-in games in the books. We'll tell you who's left and who's gone home. All that and a lot more. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's gonna audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count. Because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Here in Texas, we know that trust is earned and reputation matters. Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and that Texans can respect. A firm where no defendant is too big and no case is too small. Backed by a track record of success and a commitment to our clients, Thomas J. Henry remains the name you can depend on if you have been injured. Trust the firm that stands for you. Trust Thomas J. Henry, San Antonio, Texas.
Rock's Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rock's the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rock's has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rock's know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. The San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for our home opener Sunday, April 27th at 2 when the Brahmas bring the Fiesta to the gridiron with our Viva Fiesta, Viva Brahmas themed game. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Tickets on sale now at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com. Our town, our team, our herd.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. On Twitter, Instagram, at Joe Reinagel210. I'm at Jason Minix. The station, at SA Sports Star. Give us all a follow.
Please do. And turn on my microphone.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I have to remember to do that.
Yeah, every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then.
It's the little things, Joe.
I know. I just like to talk and not have to worry about it.
You just want to, you wish somebody else would push the button and turn your mic on?
Well, or if I would remember sooner rather than later. I'm having a YouTube debate.
You really, I know you're fired up because you type loudly when you're fired up.
I type loudly anyway,
but it's louder when you're boom, boom. Yeah. Normally, I mean, you are a loud typer, but when you're angry, you're fired up, it seems to be louder.
It is, yes. It is. We're going all the way back to Johnny Manziel and Reggie Bush.
Oh, wow.
So, you know.
Can we get Eric Dickerson in the conversation?
We might as well, because he kind of started this whole thing, didn't he?
Well, I don't know if he started it, but.
But, again, that's apples and oranges to what's happening today. I mean, it just is. It's apples and oranges, and to bring that up, fine, but it doesn't. It's not the same. Boosters, yeah, you want to put $100,000 under Johnny Manziel's mattress? Fine, great. Let's go back to those days. Why don't we? I'd rather have that than what we have now. I'd much rather have that than what we have now.
210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Hey, Paul, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Hey, guys, how y'all doing?
Good.
Just a quick question. I mean, what has NIL done to scholarships? Aren't teams limited to how many scholarships they can give out a season?
I think it's 85, right?
Yeah, but
is it going
sure.
up?
There is a limit, yes.
Okay, so say this player goes in the transfer portal, a team recruits him, and he winds up going to that team. What if that team says, you know what, because he was a starter, he was an All-American, we owe you 3 scholarships now. So now they go from 85 to 82.
Well, I mean, let's face it. I mean, I don't know why these players go to school anyway. I mean, honestly, if you're making $4 million, what the hell do you need an education for?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Has NIL diminished scholarships? Why waste your scholarship on a player that you're paying $4 million for?
That's a good question. I honestly, truth be told, don't know the answer to that, whether they still get a scholarship or not.
They do. Paul, appreciate the question. It is interesting, especially at some of the bigger schools, right? Like Arch Manning, does that kid really need to have a scholarship, or could they use that scholarship for somebody else? But I don't know the exact rules. If somebody wants to Google it and send us a link, but the preferred walk-on stuff is going away. So there might be those guys that get scholarships, and maybe you have some starters that aren't because they're making so much money. There's ways around it, and it might not be an athletic scholarship, but an academic scholarship. It is interesting when you look at the world of college athletics. You know, you go back 5-10 years and further, you know, one of the problems that kind of started all this is they're not allowed to work. College athletes aren't allowed to work. And
they don't have time.
They don't have time, but they're also they're not allowed. Where like the band gets paid for certain events, and a band kid could be on a band scholarship and then give out trumpet lessons, if you will, to local high school kids and make money. That's legal. But an athlete could not do quarterback training with high school players and get money. That was illegal. You know, when my kid was in college, she was at Sam Houston State, she was on the orientation team, made $18-19 an hour. Football players didn't make anything. And, you know, now they get their scholarship and they get a little bit of a stipend, but we all know that that wasn't enough to cover things. I think the whole deal was intended, give them some pocket money, right? Not become millionaires. But they didn't put the guardrails in place initially and go from there. I said way back then when Erica was at Sam Houston State and this was being talked about, make them all like they're on the orientation team. You pay all those kids $20 an hour, they'd probably be happy.
The NCAA back then dropped the ball.
Yep.
If you'd have come up with that, a stipend, give these kids $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, whatever it is. But back then, they were fining people and suspending people for if somebody bought an athlete a Coke.
Yeah.
I mean, just ridiculous rules. And all of this is because of that. I'm all for kids getting paid. I have no problem with it. And they should, because colleges make a lot of money off of their merchandise. And I'm all for it. I have no issue with that. But this transfer portal, holding schools hostage, that's got to go away. The transfer portal's a horrible thing. It just is a horrible thing. The timing of it is terrible. And it's a terrible thing when you can just jump into the portal because you're upset because you're not making enough money, or you don't like the coach, or I don't know, maybe a coach, yelled at you and you called your mommy and she said jump in the portal. Now, all of these things, it's just dumb. Free agent period. That's where it should be. You should have that free agency period once, and then that's it. And if you don't get in it, you're stuck at the school you're at until the free agent period comes up. There should be contracts. There should be collective bargaining. It's got to go pro because that's what it is.
Well, and I'm with you. In some of this, the fact that you can transfer and you're eligible immediately, that used to have to sit out a year. That kept people from leaving. They need to reinstate that unless your coach leaves. There's the exception to the rule. If your coach leaves, it's there. If you've accepted and cashed an NIL check, you need to be on that campus at least 2 years, maybe even 3 years, whatever that is. If you got to file a grievance to get out, you got to sit out a year. The fact that Nico can go through spring ball at Tennessee and then transfer and pick up at UCLA is crazy. And even, was it Patino during basketball season? They're paid. Why do I only get them 20 hours a week? We need more time.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that either.
It makes no sense. And again, it's got to go. Basketball and football have got to go the way of the pros. And you've got to have the same system because it's only going to get worse. Quarterback wants $4 million. Next year he's going to want $6 million. After that he's going to want $12 million. And then where does it end? And it's got to end somewhere along the line. And it kind of really pisses me off, although Urban Meyer is telling the truth. But, dude, get on board, because if you were still coaching in the college ranks, you'd be dealing with the same crap that Josh Heupel's dealing with at Tennessee.
Well, but what is Josh Heupel going to do? He's going through the portal today and probably going to end up having to pay some quarterback $3 or $4 million to come in here to make sure he has a successful season. Because while Josh Heupel took a stand and told Nico, no, we're not giving you any more money, and he gets applauded for that, as he should, the reality is He's about to screw over some other coach who thinks he has a starting quarterback after spring ball, but now Josh Heupel needs one, and Josh Heupel is going to go buy one.
Well, the difference is if Josh Heupel and this quarterback agree on a contract, agree on a sum of money, which apparently he did with Nico, the guy that left, then you don't come back and renegotiate.
Well, sure.
I mean, there should be a period of time. Tennessee thought they had this guy for a certain amount of money. Well, no, that wasn't good enough, so he holds out of practice and he wants more money. That's the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. If you negotiate a sum of money with somebody, then stick to it. That's the problem, though. There are no contracts, and there's no honor between anybody, and that's the problem. So, what are you going to do? Yeah, if your name is not signed on a dotted line, then why should you have to stick with anything? It's ridiculous.
Well, I know at UTSA, every NIL deal is a legit contract that lawyers and stuff are involved in. I just don't know what the consequence is if you break it. And
there is no consequence.
And in Nico's case, you wonder, has he yet been paid for what he was promised for the upcoming season? And if he felt like this was the time to negotiate. Somewhere along the lines, we're going to learn where this makes a little bit more sense than it does now, even though I'm not going to like it either way because I don't like what he did. You have an agreement and you go with it. But there doesn't seem to be consequences or severe enough punishment if you decide you want to hit the portal and leave, even if you've accepted money from Tennessee. Like that $2.5 million, he doesn't have to give that back. That seems wrong.
Well, according to this report just 4 hours ago, it's called a website called the Saturday Blitz. Andrew Boardwine, this was a 4 hour ago report, which kind of contradicts a little bit, unless they've worked out a deal, what Colin Cowherd says they're clashing over negotiations.
Sounds like the Tulane story.
This kid and UCLA. But apparently the offer is significantly less than $4 million. So you want to play at UCLA, you want to play at Tennessee. To me, there's a huge difference in the eyes that are going to be on you. Good luck, Nico.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, make sure you get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro, especially if you need some new golf shirts made, fishing shirts. The entire spring line is on display. Fiesta right around the corner. You need anything done, T-shirts, screen printed, go see Sam. If you need caps, man, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Katie caps, Nike Cap America, to name a few. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from, all kinds of industries. Nobody has better prices. Sam is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, no order too big. So call Sammy's Embroidery and Printing, 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Taking you home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you've been waiting and waiting to get your eyes taken care of, tired of wearing those glasses, tired of wearing those contacts, what are you waiting for? Now is the time to get it done. At Manrique Custom Vision Center, Dr. Manrique prides himself in getting you out of those glasses or contacts with his blade and pain-free LASIK, which is totally safe and comfortable. It will give you the best possible vision, and you can throw out the glasses and contacts. They've got over 25 years of experience, and they've done over 72,000 laser vision corrections. They offer financing to all with up to 36 months interest-free. Give them a call today to set it up. 210-354-2020. Come and see the Manrique difference for yourself. Every patient benefits from a customized vision plan that they bring to life with state-of-the-art technology, a variety of options to help make your treatment an investment you can afford and the right people. Change your vision, change your life today. It's Manrique, 210-354-2020.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please. Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours. Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Did you know that 70% of divorces are filed by women? She's already thinking about it. I urge you, do not get caught off guard. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. Divorce is tough. It's emotional, challenging, and can upend everything you've worked hard for. But here's the truth. You have a choice. You can either let your spouse dictate the terms, or you can take control and protect your financial future. At Barton & Associates, this isn't just about getting through the process. It's about protecting what you've built, securing your assets, and ensuring you have the resources to move forward with confidence. You've worked hard for everything you have, and we're here to help safeguard it and avoid unnecessary losses. If you're serious about protecting yourself through the divorce process and securing your future, Barton & Associates is the team you need by your side. Call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Play-in basketball last night in the NBA. We've got more play-in basketball tonight. In fact, Memphis is waiting to face the winner of the Mavs-Kings game tonight. They'll play on Friday for the 8th seed in the West. As far as the East, well, a couple of teams will play tonight. Chicago and the Miami Heat for the right to take on the Atlanta Hawks to see who will be that 8th seed out in the East.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Happy Wednesday.
Hump Day!
Hump Day!
We got humping in stereo, baby. Hump Day.
There are
in
worse
stereo.
things.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet everybody's having a great Wednesday.
Are you?
I am,
I
sure.
mean, you're fired up, man.
You know
got
what?
a little sweat build up on the forehead.
There's
You're
no
getting...
sweat buildup. I enjoy the debate, and people have different opinions. I think it's great, and I have mine, and so it's cool. And I love when people just tell me to get over it, and it's like, dude, it's a debate. I have my side, you have your side, and we'll see what happens.
I think we all agree nobody's happy. Nobody's content. Nobody thinks this is right.
I'm not sure about that.
I just think people don't want to bitch,
Well,
especially if if they know they're losing.
I'm just afraid that it's going to end poorly, and that's what I'm afraid of. I mean, and the stuff's rolling downhill as we speak, and with what's happening today with Baylor, I don't think I would have never predicted something like that would have happened. The entire team is gone. 9 guys in the transfer portal. What does that say about Scott Drew?
You walk into your locker room and nobody's there. I don't have a team to coach.
Wow,
it's insane. Although, and every coach has a different philosophy. You can hit the portal and never leave. I mean, all you're doing is exploring your options. But if some coaches, you hit the portal, man, pack your stuff and get the hell out, you're not coming back. And there's others that, you might decide the grass isn't always greener over there, and, we welcome you back with open arms. Generally, those are the special players. But you look at them, I don't know what the consequence is, because not everybody in the portal is going to find a new home. There are so many kids in the portal. I mean, there are staff positions now that, you're the portal coach. You're just sifting through every day. You probably sit there, hit refresh. Oh, all right, let's contact this guy.
Yeah. Or maybe not. You just hope that he contacts you, which is the situation for our young friend who used to play at Tennessee and now apparently is headed to UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Iamaleava?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. I figure that's close.
I'm just glad, and I don't remember him in the All-American Bowl, but, some of those kids' names you spent 3 or 4 days working on it and learning it and trying to say it right. I don't remember him there if he was, but I know he was a 5-star recruit out of high school and one of those, kind of like Caleb Williams. That guy's going to be a first-round draft pick, and they knew it when he was 15.
Yeah. Apparently he's very talented. Redshirted at Tennessee, and they don't coached him up for a year, and, well, now he leaves.
Yeah. It's all right. And you want to feel bad for coaches. That's why they make all the money they make.
Yeah, sure. Perhaps.
You got to have the perspective of one Jeff Traylor. Could be worse. Could be
riding the range.
Oregon Trail. It might be rough, but there's somebody that has it rougher.
Or did at one time.
Or did at one point.
I'm not sure anybody's riding the Oregon Trail today.
No, but somebody has it rougher than an old football coach.
Oh, perhaps. I don't know.
Or a talk show host.
Well, I just had to deal with these guys on YouTube.
That's the fun.
It's a blast, dude. I'm not. It doesn't make me mad. I like the debate. That's why I do what I do.
And the reality is, see all these people, the people that are telling you to get off your lawn. You're getting hammered today, Joe, on the chat.
I mean, get over it.
But you know how you make them not mad at you?
How's that?
We give them things.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I really don't care if they're mad at me or not. They can be mad all they want.
But they're gonna be mad and smile at you if we give them something.
All right, give them something.
You want to give something away?
I do.
Let's see.
Do I get to choose here? All right, I'll choose.
You choose.
How about some NIOSA tickets?
NIOSA. April 29th through May 2nd at Historic Lobby Eats.
Now, we could debate on that. Is it NIOSA or NEOSA?
It's NIOSA.
I know it's NIOSA, but there are still some clowns out there that say NEOSA.
Night in Old San Antonio.
I'm just saying. I know you've heard it.
People say NEOSA?
Yes.
Well, you realize they're not from here.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's like if they say, meet me over, at San Pedro. Yeah, you're not from here. It's like my GPS that wants to take me down Houston Street. Where the hell are you from?
Yeah, Alexa or whatever her name is on those GPSs. Yeah, she's not from here. Oh, look at Gilbert on our YouTube channel, Pledge.
What?
Yeah, check that out.
Gilbert, you just got double birds up.
You sure did.
You're a dumb butt.
I gave him 77 of them.
Yeah. I will say this, Gilbert. I appreciate where your mind is at.
Yeah, I agree with you, but
yesterday I did Pledge wrong. I did him dirty.
No, it was Jackie Robinson Day.
It was Jackie Robinson Day, so all 3 giveaways yesterday, we did caller 42. We actually made pledge work for a living, so we're going to go complete opposite today. We'll go 24. No, I'm kidding. But in honor of Tyron Smith calling it a career.
How many years was he in the league?
14.
There you go.
13 with the, what?
13 as a Cowboy.
13 as a Cowboy.
There you go.
Thanks, Pledge.
One of those 2.
All right, so now we're going 77.
8-time All-Pro.
He was not an 8-time All-Pro.
Pro Bowler, sorry.
Yeah, 8 Pro Bowlers, 5-time All-Pro. 2 times as a first-team All-Pro. And people still aren't calling yet at 210-656-ESPN.
They don't know what number you're going to.
Well, they still dial because you never know. You never know. See, Paul just called and hung up.
Well, because
he thinks I'm going to say caller number 1, which would be ridiculous.
That would be.
That would
actually.
be.
Although you've done that before.
I have done that before. I can't decide what caller we're going to go here. Not making a good decision here.
I like 13.
You like 13?
I do.
13 with the Cowboys?
Yes.
Well, we can't go with the number.
He's a Cowboy now.
Can't go with the number of Super Bowls that he won.
Could we actually say he's in his 14th year with the Cowboys?
No, it's 13 in a day.
Well, I'm just saying he just signed a 1-day contract.
Yeah, 1 day.
I know.
He doesn't get a year accrual on that.
Give him his year. Come on.
It doesn't count. 13 years with the Cowboys. Caller 13, you're going to Nyosa. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Payton Pardee will join us coming up at 4:35 for Wednesdays with Wade. If you haven't heard, Wade Phillips taking a leave of absence as the head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, dealing with an illness. Payton Pardee is the interim head coach. He will join us coming up in about 25 minutes. And as mentioned, Tyron Smith calling it a career. We'll hear from Big 77 coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
First of all, let me tell you about Stevens Roofing. Love talking about Stevens Roofing. The family-owned company, local company. They're the best in the business. And you ask, Joe, how do you know that? Well, I know that because they've been in business for so long in San Antonio and South Texas, and you don't stay in business, especially in the roofing business, as long as they've been if you're not doing it right. They have got a long, long list of satisfied customers, returned customers, in fact. And I looked at something today in my handy-dandy weather app, and there is a cool front coming in, and there are thunderstorms expected with that cool front, and that could be a problem. And you know what always is, especially this time of year. We're talking about rain, wind, hail, all of that kind of stuff. Why don't you make sure your roof is in good shape before Mother Nature comes in and does what she does? It's a perfect opportunity to call up Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 for a free, no-obligation roof inspection. And they'll come out, they'll inspect your roof, and, well, if they think you need a new roof, they'll let you know that. If they think there's just a minor repair needed, they'll let you know that. Or if there's nothing wrong, well, they'll let you know that your roof is in great shape and wish you a nice day. They're going to give you either way that peace of mind that you want and need when those storms come rolling in. Stevens Roofing and Solar, best in the business. Why don't you give them a call? In fact, why don't you do it right now? That phone number to call, 210-785-0994.
Tragically, recent data reveals that 40% of women in Texas will experience intimate partner violence. Christie's Hope is dedicated to breaking the cycle of domestic violence by providing shelter, healing, and counseling, and empowering survivors to take their first steps towards lasting safety and independence. Thomas J. Henry stands with us in our commitment to end domestic violence. Donate today at christieshope.org.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by tax relief advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A-plus rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 five-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147 or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
We're honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Friday at our Bourbon and Brews Party. Head over to Twin Peaks Fridays from 5 to 7 and experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. Cheers!
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Made in America, highest quality. That's Kinetico Quality Water Softeners. There's a reason Dave Ramsey says a Kinetico is a wise investment for your home.
Trust me, Kinetico water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Kinetico uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it.
It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Kinetico of San Antonio and the Hill Country. 210-656-PURE.
Check them out at KineticoSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
License number 38961.
KineticoSA.com.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. What are you laughing at? I'm Jason Minnick.
Pledge, man. He's putting on a show inside that glass box of fun.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
You guys just be happy we don't have Pledger Cam.
That's true. We don't. Now, we do when we're on remote.
Yeah, because we're using a different
Cam,
system. Yeah. And Pledge likes to be on TV. See, Edwin just puts the logo up, but Pledge likes being on screen.
Yeah, well.
You know.
You got to give the people what they want.
Do they want it?
I don't know.
No, Pledge wants. It's like you going by a mirror. You know, Pledge likes being on camera and doing things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's how it works. Got a message. I'm holding out for Taste of the Northside tickets.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Good luck. We do have another pair of tickets that we will give away at some point before Thursday, May 1st for Taste of the Northside, which is at Rocket Lock on Terra. But I can tell you, we do have a promo code that saves you money, $50. Blitz50 is the promo code when you go buy them online. You can save money there. See, the other day we had Katrina Campbell on, who's the CEO, and she said on air, hey, you got a promo code. And I'm thinking, we don't. And so I called him. I said, you said we had a promo code. So we made one. It's Blitz50.
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 All right.
You're not going to hear that in commercials, only when we say it like this. Maybe we'll put it on social media. Maybe. And we do have a pair, but we're not giving those away today.
Not today.
Not today.
All right.
Not today. But you can save money. Blitz50. 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 50.
Yeah, everybody wants those tickets.
Everybody wants those. Those are the hottest tickets.
They are.
For Fiesta.
That's going to be fun. It always is.
Always my favorite Fiesta event.
Always fun.
Blitz 50.
Yep.
You know, if anybody tried to blitz Tyron Smith, they generally got decked, especially early in his career. One of the greatest called it a career, and quite frankly, maybe a year later than it should have been. But he had that year with the New York Jets, and it's there. Tyron Smith did talk today about why now is the time to retire.
After this past year and then over the years of injuries and things like that, it just kind of felt like it was the right time to hang it up. And I don't want to be that guy down the line to where I'm struggling down the line, and I want to be healthy for my kids and be able to rush around my kids. I got some big kids now, and they ain't the normal size, so you got to be in shape for them. So the decision came, and it came easy. And I realized how much I put into this NFL, and I felt proud of what I did. So
I bet he has some big kids. I mean, look, he is a big man. There's no doubt about it. But, look, I wonder if Zach Martin's retirement kind of got him to thinking about it as well.
Maybe. But the reality is he wanted one more year, and it wasn't going to be in Dallas. And credit Jerry Jones for letting him leave by not keeping him around, because Jerry has been known to keep players a year too long. He let Zeke go, but for whatever reason brought him back. And you bring Tyron back and you sign him to a one-day deal so he can retire as a Dallas Cowboy. And as Jerry said today, no doubt he is a Hall of Famer.
There is no doubt in my mind that you're going to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. There's no doubt. And just a couple of months ago, we were sitting here unbelievably with another player that will be there in the Hall of Fame. We won't have a player ever with the Dallas Cowboys that I can predict this, that shares better credentials on how they came, how they worked, how they used their background to work, and what they accomplished and meant to the team. It is a tragedy that we didn't get a Super Bowl. With you sitting out there at that left tackle and sitting there with many of the other players that you've mentioned here today. But that doesn't take away from the fact of what you've accomplished in the NFL, Tyron, and that doesn't take away from the respect that you see in this room. It is an honor to have you having been and say that you were a Dallas Cowboy in your career. And I want to be the first one to shake your hand when you go in that NFL Hall of Fame.
And he will go. It's just a matter. We talked about this yesterday. Will both he and Zach Martin go in together? Or will they be separated just because of the way things are right now? It's going to be interesting, but both of those guys deserve to be in.
And while Jerry says that, I have no doubt he's a Hall of Famer. Jerry knows he's a Hall of Famer, but when, who knows? Jerry did say he is going in the Ring of Honor.
Well, again, there is no question they're going in the Ring of Honor. Let me be real clear about that. Right. And I must have missed that in my elaborate remarks. But without a question, we've never had a player play for the Dallas Cowboys that represents us, that played on and off the field the way that he's been a part of this team. And, yes, he'll be going in the Ring of Honor.
Oh, that's outstanding. I mean, both of those guys will. Zach Martin will as well.
And probably at the same time.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. But, look, Tyron Smith was dominant until he started to be injured all the time, and that was a problem. So that's why Jerry and company decided to let him go off to the New York Jets for 1 year. He decided he didn't like it there with the Jets. So back with the Cowboys for one day to retire.
And again, you think about what Jerry said, tragedy that they didn't win a Super Bowl. And you think about that offensive line at one point for – stretch of 3, 4, 5 years, the best offensive line in football. And they had some opportunities, and Des caught it, damn it. They would have won a Super Bowl that year. You can't convince me otherwise. But it is. And quite honestly, refreshing isn't the right word, but it is. Refreshing to hear those words coming out of Jerry Jones's mouth. because I think you can call it a tragedy. And to hear that from Jerry, the architect of all those rosters, where, his son will talk about the so-called air quote championship drought. I mean, they have put some players in rosters together that should have won, and they haven't gotten it done. And I'm glad to hear Jerry sounding like a fan. It's tragic that they haven't done it.
It is tragic. And look, he's put together some good rosters, and it's hard to win a Super Bowl. And we all sit here, but it shouldn't take 30 years. Okay, I mean, it just shouldn't take that long to even move up further in the playoffs to an NFC championship. But Jerry has done the job. It's just unfortunate. You say Dez caught it, and that was, unfortunate. Green Bay, Mike McCarthy beat the Cowboys in that game. But, yeah, it is unfortunate because the NFL is better. Whether you agree with this or not, and I'm not you, but everybody that's listening, it's better when the Cowboys are successful. I mean, it just is.
I agree with that, but are they? I mean, do they need to be good? They're the Cowboys. People are talking about them, whether they're good or not. Last year, you go back to some lean years. Hell, even when Quincy Carter was the quarterback, or all the dudes that started between Troy Aikman and Tony Romo. The Cowboys have always moved the needle, whether they were competitive or not. You look at other teams out there that, I mean, they're good now, like Philadelphia. You talk about 30 years. I mean, look how long it took Philadelphia to get one. And now Philadelphia has two. And a guy that does have rings as a member of the Dallas Cowboys, one Emmitt Smith, is tired of Philadelphia already.
I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of it for two reasons. One, we have allowed others to come and nitpick at the star and make fun of the star. And that's what happens when you give other people or other organizations. Now all of a sudden, the last 20 years, they win 2 Super Bowls. They think they're the best thing on the doggone planet.
Yeah.
And everywhere I go Birds. I'm sick of hearing go Birds. I'm always asking, where you going? You still got a long way to go to catch the ups.
Oh, Emmett, telling it like it is. But
he was on the ticket up in Dallas.
Unfortunately, at this moment in time, you just kind of have to sit back and listen to that. They've been pretty successful over the last several years. 2 Super Bowls. What are you going to do? You can be sick of it all you want. You got to do something about it.
Well, and that's true, and that's up to Jerry. But the standard in Dallas is Super Bowls. And you go back, team founded in 1960. They were in Super Bowl 5, 6. They were the Super Bowl 12. Then 30 was the last one they won, beating Pittsburgh at Sun Devil Stadium in Phoenix. Thanks to Neil O'Donnell and all his interceptions, who should have been the MVP of that game. Larry Brown ended up with the MVP. But, and it's been a drought since, right? But look at all the organizations that have never actually been or won a Super Bowl. And there are a lot out there. There's franchises that have never won that have been. Look at Minnesota.
Yeah.
Buffalo. I mean, there are, but they don't get the same as the Cowboys because the Cowboys are the standard for whatever reason, and they quite frankly shouldn't be the standard anymore with what they've done on the field the last 30 years, but they still are. You look at Kansas City, the dominant team. Philadelphia has been good lately, but historically, Green Bay, we were talking about that earlier with Aaron Rodgers. How did that team only win one?
That is very true.
We talk about the Cowboys not winning any with Tyron Smith in that offensive line, but how did Green Bay only win one?
I listened to what you just said, and the Cowboys, when they came on and won that Super Bowl, and then the Cowboys team of the 90s that were so dominant and won the 3 Super Bowls, they captured America. Mm-hmm. That's how it got to be known as America's team, and it's still that way. And you got to credit Jerry Jones for that. You do, because he has made sure that the Cowboys are in the spotlight constantly. And people love, because of the character that Jerry Jones is, he's in the media all the time. There are no other owners that go to microphones the way that Jerry Jones does, that says the things that Jerry Jones does. You got to credit him for the fact that this Dallas Cowboy football team, whether they've won or not, and it's been a long time, and they're still in the spotlight, I don't see how you don't credit Jerry Jones for every bit of that.
Well, I mean, I'll go back further. Tex Ram. Tex Ram created the largest radio network when he realized, there's fans in West Texas, New Mexico. Why do we have to be in a city, Dallas? Create the radio network. John Facenda, NFL Films, tabbing them America's team. Now, granted, you had Roger Staubach, Navy guy, leading the way. It all fit, but, Jerry picked up the ball, and he has run with it for sure and gets the credit for what they've turned into. But America's team was born long before Jerry Jones was a part of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, sure. It was a start.
Yep.
Jerry Jones has advanced it on steroids.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no question about that.
And when you think about, hearing stories of other NFL teams that he was trying to buy, could you imagine if he would have ended up with one of those teams? They wouldn't be near what they are because the Cowboys brand was big when he bought it, and he just made it even crazier. You're right. Steroids is the right answer. To me, as a longtime Cowboy fan, to hear the words out of Jerry's mouth that it's a tragedy that some of those players did not win a Super Bowl. Truer words from Jerry Jones. Because it is.
Absolutely.
It is a tragedy that some of those guys never won a Super Bowl. Wade Phillips, for a long time, was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Had some teams I thought could win. News today, taking a leave of absence as the head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas. He's dealing with an illness, officially taking a leave of absence for personal reasons. Payton Pardee, the grandson of the legendary coach Jack Pardee, is the interim head coach. Payton Pardee joins us next here on The Blitz for Wednesdays with Wade here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, I tell you what, we had our golf tournament on Monday. You guys know that. If you were out there, you saw how the Golf Club of Texas looks right now. It is amazing what they've done to that golf course. It is fantastic. All the money that they have put in there, the improvements that they've made. The golf course is in fantastic shape. The new golf cart paths all over the place, the Zero-scape that they've got going on, just makes it beautiful. It's just a touch of beauty out there to help your enjoyment of playing the game of golf on a golf course. Fantastic golf course. It's a challenge, but it's fair. And I love that about golf courses that you play. You hit a good shot, you're going to score. You don't, well, you're going to be penalized. That's what the Golf Club of Texas offers. In fact, the way they've done it out there, it looks like a country club. It's not, though. It is open to you and me and everybody else 7 days a week, and it's fantastic. If you haven't been out there, if you weren't out there for the golf tournament and you're a golfer and you haven't been out to the Golf Club of Texas, well, you haven't been out there because it looks entirely different than anything else you may have imagined or seen before. It is incredible. And not only that, they've got the 10-Cup Bar and Grill out there, which is just fantastic. The food is fantastic. It is excellent. The drinks are flowing. The beer is cold. All of it, everything that you could want from a day of golf experience you can get at the Golf Club of Texas. And right now, the rates that you can get are fantastic as well. All you need to do is go to golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. Go out there, check it out, play some golf. We're going to do that on Saturday out there. We're going to go play some golf out at the Golf Club of Texas because I didn't get to play during the golf tournament, nor did Jason, so I had a little FOMO. So I want to go play, and we're going to do that out at the Golf Club of Texas on Saturday. Look, you know exactly where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. Dinner at the 10 Cup, around with your buddies, your next tournament. Go check them out. Again, best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, one day closer to the NFL Draft. We'll get into discussions on that, and the playoff field is closer to being set. Another round of play-in games in the books. We'll tell you who's left and who's gone home. All that and a lot more. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
If you've been waiting and waiting to get your eyes taken care of, tired of wearing those glasses, tired of wearing those contacts, what are you waiting for? Now is the time to get it done. At Manrique Custom Vision Center, Dr. Manrique prides himself in getting you out of those glasses or contacts with his blade and pain-free LASIK, which is totally safe and comfortable. It will give you the best possible vision, and you can throw out the glasses and contacts. They've got over 25 years of experience, and they've done over 72,000 laser vision corrections. They offer financing to all with up to 36 months interest-free. Give them a call today to set it up. 210-354-2020. Come and see the Manrique difference for yourself. Every patient benefits from a customized vision plan that they bring to life with state-of-the-art technology, a variety of options to help make your treatment an investment you can afford and the right people. Change your vision, change your life today. It's Manrique, 210-354-2020.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-383-7733. That's 800-383-7733.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
It's Wednesdays with Wade. San Antonio Brahmas head coach Wade Phillips joins the Blitz every Wednesday for an inside look at your San Antonio Brahmas. Now, here's the Blitz with Wade Phillips.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Wednesdays with Wade with a twist today. Joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line, interim head coach Payton Pardee, after the news today that Wade Phillips is taking a leave of absence, personal reasons. We know he hasn't been feeling well. Coach Pardee, appreciate you jumping on with us. So about this time a week ago, you got elevated to offensive coordinator and now interim head coach. Your head must be spinning, my friend.
I tell you what, it's certainly been a busy past 2 weeks, but I'm really feel very blessed and fortunate for both of these opportunities, and I'm really excited about this team and the outlook of this team moving forward.
Coach, I got to ask you, when you go into that game and you're the interim head coach last week against the Michigan Panthers, what was that feeling like when you stepped out on the field and you knew that, hey, I'm the guy?
It's a feeling kind of like unlike any other, but all that was really going through my mind is I just want to be able to serve these players as best as I possibly can, because I'm a big believer in kind of what I've visited with the team about earlier today is myself, Coach Wade. I really believe the coaching staff, including head coaches and coordinators, we are here to serve the players. And to try to do everything that we can, for them to be successful both on the field and off the field. And so that was kind of, my main focus is, making sure that I was managing the game as best I could. And then at the same time, making sure that we were, as productive as we could be on offense.
Payton Pardee joining us here on the Blitz, interim head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas. So watching the TV broadcast, they said Wade was in the building, in the locker room, not feeling well. At what point did he decide he was not going to be able to go and tell you, dude, you got to be the head coach today? Because it felt like that was almost game time.
Yeah, and it was a game time decision, and it was something that Coach Wade and I had, we'd visited about, during right before pregame warmups, and so it was something that, that wasn't. It was a surprise, but it was something that he and I were prepared for should that situation ever come up.
Coach, it's been a rough season for you guys. I mean, but having to start on the road the way that you have. This game felt like a game that you guys had a real opportunity to win, and it seems like the team played better in this game overall than they had the first two. Would you agree with that?
I would wholeheartedly agree with that. Yes, sir.
What was the difference this past week as compared to the 2 weeks before?
The big thing that I stress to the players and what our team identity was going to be before that game and what it will be moving forward is, we want to play really good complementary team football. And specifically what I mean by that is, defensively as an offense, we can do certain things to help take care of them and to try to put them in good positions. Going 3 and out quickly is not to our advantage as a team. And so, one of the things that I think helped us early in that game is, we had placed a huge emphasis on establishing the run game early, and on offense is utilizing our personnel. Because I really believe, and one thing that I would encourage the San Antonio fan base on is, I totally understand this has been a difficult start to the season. It's certainly not what we expected or what we would have hoped. But I am very, very optimistic about the direction that this team is heading. And, the thing that I told our players, and they agreed, is when you look at our team identity in week 3 against the Michigan Panthers from where it was week 1 to week 2, in my opinion, we look like a completely different ball club in a good way. And so that's something that, I think we can absolutely build on. It wasn't perfect by any stretch on all 3 phases. There's, certainly things that we can do on each side of the ball to improve. But I don't think we're far off. And, I mentioned this in the post-game press conference after the game, but, I really think that we're hitting our stride as a team, at the right time. And I really think that we're close to getting over that hill. And ultimately, I have all the confidence in the world in this coaching staff and in this team. And I think we have exactly what we need in this roster and with our coaching staff. And I'm really looking forward to this upcoming game against DC and for the remainder of the season.
Payton Pardee joining us here on the Blitz for Wednesdays with Wade. He's now the interim head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas. And coach, as you say it that way, and obviously in the spring leagues it can be tough because you don't have a long training camp and you get off to an 0-2 start, change at offensive coordinator. But the way your team played looks like what you just said, I agree with. You have the right players there. Were the internal conflicts, if that's the right word, with what AJ was trying to do offensively versus what you wanted to do? Because the results are on the stat sheet. Is that fair? Just, those guys just needed to believe in what they were doing a little bit more, and they did with what you were trying to do on Sunday?
I do want to say this. I want to thank AJ for, everything that he's done for the San Antonio Brahmas in the 2 years or year and change that he was with us. And, obviously, certainly as professionals, we all have to make decisions that are best for us. And so for me, it's, less of, what our system is now compared to what it was back then. And to me, it's the way that I would phrase it is it's most about, I think one thing that's critical is you need to play to your players' strengths. And for us, speaking on the offensive side, with that being the topic at hand, as I told our guys early the night before the game, is we have a lot of weapons. We really do. We've got a great quarterback room. We've got a really good quarterback in Kellen Mond. We have very dynamic receivers that all have different skill sets that complement each other well. We've got 3 excellent running backs, and I really believe in our offensive line. And I'm very, very proud of what we were able to get done in that game. And obviously, there's plenty to improve on the offensive side. But to me, it comes down to, unifying our identity and giving the players a clear, vision and plan on what we are going to do and what we need to get done in order to have a chance to be successful. And I think overall we took a massive step forward in that direction. And I'm very excited to build on that, in the future.
Payton, seeing the improvement last week, and as you go into this game this Sunday against the DC Defenders, you have the opportunity now. Wade made that decision to take some time off. You've got the reins now. Everybody knows that. Does that help you guys as you prepare now for the DC Defenders?
I think obviously, Coach Wade will be missed, and we hope that he can join us again soon. And so I think for us, really this week, it's the really good news about this situation is I think Coach Wade put into place a very clear blueprint on what our program is and what it's going to continue to be moving forward. And then from there, it's just all three phases: offense, special teams, defense, honing in on the details and the specifics of within who we want to be as a defense, as a special teams unit, and as an offense. What are the details that we need to do to get a win against DC? And so I think that was our big point of emphasis today. And moving forward into this week is, in my opinion, the way that you correct losses is we don't need to wholesale change, our personnel, our staff, what we're doing. It's minor, tweaks and so to speak, fixing minor problems. And my messaging to the team on that today was, all of us, and myself included, we all need to be focused on what can I do to improve on my 111th to help this team be successful. Because if everybody takes that approach and that mentality, then we're going to get better as a team. And I, obviously you can see it with the score and just the general flow of that game. I was really, really bummed. I thought we were going to come out of that one with a win. And so that's where, this week I'm excited to build on the good things that we did on all three phases, clean up the mistakes within all three, and then, continue to push forward as we look to DC this upcoming weekend.
I tell you, I thought you guys were going to get that win. The pick six, you got the two, and then that drive Kellen put together for lining up for that field goal, while a long one. I thought we were going to overtime and you were going to get that win. Didn't work out that way. So we'll get that first win this week as we visit with Payton Pardee, the interim head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas. Now, Coach, we're a bunch of knuckleheads here, right? So we're going to get some odd questions. Now, I've heard from other head coaches the best part about being a head coach is you control the schedule. Now that falls on you, what changes to the daily schedule are you going to make that's better for Payton Pardee? I mean, for the team.
I'm going to be honest with you. That's part of where I feel, very blessed and fortunate is I really love the schedule that we had as coaches under Coach Wade. And so for me, I told the staff I don't plan on making any wholesale changes, in that regard as well. And so, I think we have a really good chemistry as a coaching staff. And so, to answer your question, there's going to be no major schedule changes or anything
on the menu. At least something, better desserts. There's got to be something that's going to have the Payton Pardee stamp.
Hey, I will take you up on the better desserts. That's a heck of an idea, and I promise you this: that's going to be on the table as a topic of discussion for sure.
Now, Payton, you look like a pretty laid-back kind of guy. And some coaches are, some aren't. I know Coach Wade is a pretty laid-back dude. Is that kind of how you approach things with the players? Just as kind of a man-to-man, or do you yell and scream sometimes?
I'm a big believer in this. I'm a very passionate person. I love the game of football. I love the opportunity to coach players. And I love the team that we have. And so I would say, generally speaking, I'm a very positive, upbeat person. Most of the time I'm laid back. I'm not a screamer or holler. I know that's not a actual word. I don't holler in a manner of anger ever. I don't know if you guys saw the TV copy or not, but I think ABC or ESPN, they kind of caught me when I was a little bit fired up or excited. So I can definitely project, my voice and excitement, in a manner that would sound like yelling. But, generally speaking, I'm a very laid back, positive person. But I really get excited, when our players achieve success. Because to me, that's it's something I've stressed with the team dating back to when I was a special teams coordinator. I have a job, and my sole mission is to help these players achieve success. And so that's when they're able to do that on the field, and that there's no better feeling for me as a coach than to see players have success.
Now, as you say that and you're coaching them up, I think you're probably younger than some of the guys on the roster, aren't you?
Only a few now. As each year goes on, I feel like I'm getting older and older. So, but yeah, there's definitely a few in that area that had me by a year or two, I think.
Well, Payton, you come from a great pedigree. I'm a longtime Houston Oilers fan. I got to tell you that. And your grandpa, I'm sure what you called him, but your grandfather, I love the guy. He was fantastic. And I'm old enough to remember watching him coach the Houston Oilers, and it was great.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and those were definitely some fun years. Obviously, in coaching sometimes it doesn't always end the way you want it to, but those were definitely a lot of fun years in Houston with the Oilers, and I love my grandfather. God rest his soul, and he's definitely an inspiration of mine, and I'd say a large part of how and who I am as a coach kind of stems from him and his style. He's actually, for those that don't know him, he's very similar, in my opinion, personality-wise to Coach Wade. So I don't know if it's from my dad or from my mom where I got a little more of the excitement factor or, kind of like what we were previously talking about. But, those were some fun years. I appreciate you mentioning that.
Well, and I know probably before you were born, they would do training camp here in San Antonio at Trinity University.
Absolutely.
And, 20, 30, 50 people out there. And he would always come over and talk, and one of the things we always have fun with Wade Phillips, we call it story time with Wade, and I imagine your grandfather was that way, so we need to get a good Jack Pardee story that most people don't know.
Oh, shoot. There's a whole bunch that come to mind. The one that I'll share with you guys, and this is one of my favorite stories. This is going to date back pre-Houston Oilers. So this is when he was the head coach of the Chicago Bears. At the time, he was the youngest head coach in NFL history. And so you're going to have to forgive me. I'm going to piece this story together. There's a few details that I don't have absolutely locked in. But there was a reality TV skit that would take place, kind of like a Saturday Night Live skit, what we would have nowadays. And the skit was, there was a stunt man that was dressed as an old lady standing by a fountain. And so my grandfather's walking into, downtown Chicago with my grandma. My grandma has no idea of what's about to happen or that this skit is going to take place. And so the premise of the skit was my grandfather was going to get into an altercation with this old lady who was really a young man stunt doubling as an old lady. And then he was going to pick, the stunt double, her up and throw her in the fountain, which is so out of character for my grandfather was never that kind of man, but that's kind of what made it such a funny little skit. And so, it executes to perfection. My grandmother has no idea what's going on. And so she just sees, the stunt double or the old lady, pokes my granddad, pokes back, altercation and whatnot. Mind you, there's hidden cameras everywhere recording the whole thing in real time. And it ends with, as it was supposed to, my granddad picks up the stunt double dressed as the old lady, dunks him in a water fountain, and my grandmother, she is losing her mind. And she's like, Jack, you can't, what are you doing? You can't do this. It's so out of character. And then all of a sudden, the TV production crew, they pop out from, behind the bushes or whatever, and it's like, gotcha. She didn't find it very funny, but it was, we have an old videotape of it back in with my mom and dad in Houston. So one of these days, I'll have to dig that out and show that to you guys.
You might have to call home and have them do that tonight, because there's a lot of people that are going to be Googling trying to find that video. Now, Payton, you mentioned Houston. You've coached in San Antonio now for 2 years, although, you guys are up in Arlington. So have you fully embraced Fiesta? Because When you finally get home to play a
100%.
home game in the Alamo Dome, it's the Viva Fiesta game for the Brahmas. Have you fully embraced and understand what you're getting yourself into?
So I do, and I'll kind of close a couple circles for you guys. So my brother actually, he's the quarterbacks coach at the University of Incarnate Word down in San Antonio, and so I got to experience Fiesta for my first time last year. And we were able to kind of go out in the town and participate in some events, and then periodically visiting my brother later on in that year after that game. I would say this: I love San Antonio. It's an incredible city. I was able to, and fortunate when I was in college, I was able to recruit the city of San Antonio. The way that the city backs, not only the San Antonio Brahmas, but just backs the sports in that area is truly second to none. And so to answer your question, yes, I'm very familiar and up to speed with Fiesta and the whole celebration. And it's something, I promise you this, it feels like we've been on the road forever. I can't wait to get back home to the Alamo Dome. I promise you that.
Well, how about those Wade Phillips medals, the Dancing Wade medals?
I tell you what, I told our PR guy Kerwin, those are the coolest things in the whole wide world. I told him I will buy one. Like, that's how bad I want one of those things. It is too cool.
It really is cool, and the idea that people can buy them with their tickets. There's season ticket holders are getting them, and they've got for this first home game, not this week but the following weekend, the Viva Fiesta game against Houston. UFLBrahmas.com. You can buy tickets and get one of those Fiesta medals, and I imagine you're going to be wearing one in honor of Wade. Before we let you go, he's doing all right though.
Yes, Coach Wade's doing well.
Good. Coach, go get the win. We'll keep calling it Wednesdays with Wade until we're told otherwise. But, Payton, this has been a lot of fun, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys and look forward to seeing y'all soon.
Absolutely. Payton Pardee, the interim head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, Wednesdays with Wade. Coach Pardee and all our guests on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. And those Fiesta medals are a big deal. The ticket and medal pack online at UFLBrahmas.com, starting as low as $30, where you get a ticket and a limited edition Brahmas Fiesta medal, which is the Dancing Wade Phillips.
You got to have one of those,
yes,
for your collection. This Fiesta, because they are really cool. I love those things.
They're. I'm not the biggest Fiesta medal guy.
Well, nor am I, but
I want one of those.
I do too.
And we were going to get one delivered today, and then I got called. With all this Wade news, they got hung up, so it will be here later this week.
Well, good, because
yes.
I expect nothing less. Right? We need to have one. We got to show it off here.
Yes, we do.
Right, and wear it proudly.
You guys are going to want one, and that's one that you're going to get and not trade. I can promise you that. That will be a Fiesta medal you will not trade.
Well, you'll have that one. You'll have the 94-1 Fiesta medal. Got to get one of those.
Rare. Oh, look at Pledge. He's got his Fiesta
got one.
medal.
Look at that.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mine's sitting on the kitchen table.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think mine is too.
You think?
Yeah, it's there.
You don't know?
Well, it's there, yeah.
You think?
I've got one in my briefcase.
In your briefcase? How old are you?
I've got two.
You've got two?
I do.
Don't tell anybody.
You don't have two?
I might have two.
Well, you have two.
I do.
You never know. I might be generous to somebody, and
well, that's why you have two, one for you and one to give away.
I don't need two of them. So
why not? Maybe your wife wants to wear one.
Nah, she doesn't. She doesn't know about it.
Yeah, until she sees yours, and then she's going to want one.
Well, maybe.
All married guys understand that.
I guess. We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
You know what? I got my wife something that she enjoys very much, and that's my Connecticut Quality Water Softener. She loves it as much as I do. I'm going to tell you that right now. She loves it as much as I do, and you will love it as much as I do as well. If you don't have a Connecticut Quality Water Softener, you need to treat yourself and get one. This thing is a game changer, and it's better than anything else that I've ever had, that's for sure. And I was a skeptic, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think it would be any better. Water softeners are water softeners. It's not true. The Connecticut Quality Water Softener is head and shoulders better than anything I've ever had. The shower's better. The dishes look better when they get out of the dishwasher. Your clothes are cleaner. All of that. And at the same time, you're protecting your pipes from the hard water that we have here in San Antonio and South Texas. What I love about this thing is you don't plug it in. It runs on that kinetic energy, right? But it provides soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It works when you need it to work. And right now, they are sweetening the pot just for you. For a limited time, you're going to receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station that they're going to install right there at your kitchen sink. Bottled water right there at your kitchen sink. They're going to give you $400 off your old water softener when you trade that in. And how about some free money? 0% interest for 12 months. 0% interest for 12 months. You don't want to wait. This offer can't last long. It's just too good. Call Connecticut of San Antonio in the Hill Country. The numbers to call, 656-PURE, 656-7873, or you can get them online at ConnecticutSA.com. And you know the jingle. Sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. The San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for our home opener Sunday, April 27th at 2 when the Brahmas bring the Fiesta to the gridiron with our Viva Fiesta, Viva Brahmas themed game. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Tickets on sale now at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com. Our town, our team, our herd.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience, rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
Rock's Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rock's the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rock's has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rock's know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the UFL made an announcement today that San Antonio Brahmas head coach Wade Phillips is taking a leave of absence from his role due to personal reasons. He fell ill before the Brahmas game in Detroit on Sunday, but offensive coordinator Payton Pardee will serve as head coach in the interim. Baylor Bears men's basketball team is starting from scratch, literally. 9 players have hit the transfer portal, 4 exhausted their eligibility, 1 is going pro.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along here on this Wednesday afternoon.
Happy Hump Day!
Hump Day!
And if you're just getting off work, congratulations. You're at the top of the hump.
You feel like you're in a good mood all of a sudden.
I am in a good mood.
I mean, Ashley sends a text complimenting you, and now you're feeling all...
Oh, that was nice of her to do that. I was in a good mood before that. That's just kind of like a cherry on top.
It really is. To get a compliment from Ashley for
yes.
you, that's rare.
Wait a minute. What?
I'm kidding.
What are you talking about? No, I'm in a great mood. You know, it's been a good show. We've had some debate today with some listeners and some good interview with Payton Pardee, and it's been a good day.
It's been a really good day.
Yeah.
And we learned new terms today.
We did. Yeah. One I didn't think I wanted to learn, even though I learned it.
Well, I mean, look, wanted to learn. I don't know that you would have. What's the wording? This isn't something you seek out. Like, is there a name for this? Like, if anybody's actually done this, and I was surprised that the number of people that do this, hunting, driving long distances. But I learned something from Scott Van Pelt, because Scott Van Pelt told a story on the New Heights podcast with Jason and Travis Kelsey about damn near pooping his pants on live television, and he learned the term leaves in the gutter. Now, if you've heard this term before, I'd like to, I don't know that I believe you. If you've done this, we need to hear from you. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you don't know what leaves in the gutter actually means, Scott Van Pelt will explain.
You tweeted this at the New Heights account. Please elaborate. How close did you or Mark Schlereth come to shitting your pants on air?
Okay, so, all right, Mark Schlereth, shout to Stink.
Yeah, Stink.
So there was a day where I was having a rough day, had a little gurgle in the belly. Said to Stink, there's a decent chance that while we're sitting out here, I might my pants. And Stink says to me, oh, it's fine. You just need to put some leaves in the gutter. I'm like, excuse me? He's like, you don't know leaves in the gutter? I'm like, what's leaves in the gutter? He's like, you just take a big giant ball of toilet paper and you ball it up and you put it in your ass crack. And then while you're sitting there, you know, in your boxers, it's basically like a diaper of sorts.
You're just making a grown man's diaper.
I wasn't going to full on my pants. There's going to be just a
just a
short
little
kind of a
leakage.
moment. Is this a fart? Oh, it's hot. No, that wasn't a fart. And so I had leaves in the gutter, and I'm happy to say I did not need the leaves in the gutter, but fellas, maybe ladies, when in doubt, if you need to go leaves in the gutter, there's a pro tip from Mark Schlereth to me to you. And that's the story of how Scott Van Pelt almost his pants on TV.
That's cool. It's a great story. I'm not sure I needed to know that. And who wants a wad of toilet paper sticked up your behind?
I mean,
I guess that's better than pooping yourself.
I mean, yes, it's a barrier before it hits your drawers. I never done that.
No.
Didn't know there was a term for that. I hope I'm never in a position to need that. Although, apparently people, while hunting, camping, pretty common. Pledge says for whatever reason, Joe, you could have used this at the beach.
Yeah, I had a problem one time at the beach. Yeah, I think you've heard this story. It's the only time this ever happened to me. But I'm at the I don't think it was spring break. It was we used to go on a fishing trip, me and some old college buddies, and we don't do that anymore for obvious reasons. We're all married and can't do that kind of stuff anymore. But drinking all day, and I guess the system wasn't where it should be. Getting ready to go out for the night. A place called Sharky's there in Port Aransas.
Sharky's or Sharties?
Well, it was Sharky's was the name of the bar, but I'm standing there peeing, and yeah, you never trust that thing, right? Never trust a fart because that happened. So I didn't know what to do. I had to go commando the rest of the night. So those drawers, they weren't there. Now, had I known about leaves in the gutter, I'd have been fine. You know, I mean, they're about 20 years too late.
I remember this story. Now that you've reminded me, Pledge, how did that immediately come back to you? Why, of all the stories that Ryan Engel has told over the years, you hear leaves in the gutter and you remember Joe went old George Brett one time?
Yep, that's exactly it. I was like, oh, yeah, Joe could have used that one day.
I could have, and I wish I'd have known about it back then. But, you know, the problem is.
Yeah, here we go.
Now, Van Pelt, he's like, he knew he had a bad stomach.
Yeah.
I didn't, right?
Uh-huh.
So I did. That was a surprise to me. I'm like, woo, hey, whoa. What's that? So
there's a difference.
Well, there's a difference.
I mean, you could always be like a Boy Scout and always be prepared and just make that part of your daily routine.
Yeah, let me just walk around with a wad of toilet paper up my behind. That'll be good. Let's do that.
Depends.
Well, I guess I could do that. Who knows? But dude, I don't know how women do it. I mean, honestly, right?
Stop.
I
don't go there. Stop.
I'm just saying.
Stop.
Ladies,
Stop.
I admire
Stop.
you.
Nope. Stop. I mean, nope. Because that's essentially what you're talking about. Nope. Don't need to go there.
What? I'm talking about a thong. That's all. What'd you think I was talking about? Dude, your mind's in the gutter.
No.
I knew what you were talking about, but I knew what he thought you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, that once a month thing? No,
I was talking about.
I don't know how they do that either.
And I'm happy they do.
Yeah.
But it's like that. It's, you know, I mean, just
the things they do for us. Don't say,
ladies,
why do you do that?
God bless you.
Yes. Thank goodness.
God bless you. I'm not going to walk around every day with a wad of toilet paper crammed up my behind.
But it's leaves in the gutter.
Well, that's great.
Sounds like a bad band name.
If I ever have a bad stomach ache and feel like that's going to happen on this show, I'll come prepared.
I'd rather you just take the day off.
No kidding, right?
Coming to the Frost Banks Center, Papa Roach opening leaves in the gutter.
Nice, yeah. Good times. Oh, my goodness.
Perfect time to tell you about Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC.
Yes, it is.
Because they are experts in a worst-case scenario, and if your leaves in the gutter causes a clog, you call Quarter Moon. They are full service, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission sales reps, They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They'll do it all except your leaves in the gutter. A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau, and at Quarter Moon, they are green certified. And as far as your AC is concerned, make sure your AC is ready for the hot summer months. They've got a pre-summer AC inspection for just $58.99. Well, they'll come out, check your capacitor, your indoor coil, outdoor coil, filter, check all the proper temperature levels. Again, $58.99. So call Quarter Moon at 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
The Morning Huddle.
Type in Vlatko Konkar ESPN, and when it brings up his stat page, there's a picture of him in the top left. I want you to tell me if that's an Edgar haircut or not.
Yeah, it's an Edgar.
Edgar, right? What country is Vlatko from?
He's a Slovenian.
Well, Slovenia is the Marbach of Europe.
Yeah, so there you go.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Does this sound like your marriage? Wake up and realize that there's a better life waiting. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. At Barton & Associates, we specialize in navigating the complexities of divorce law, protecting your best interests, and ensuring you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but here's the thing. You have a choice. You can either let your spouse dictate the terms, or you can take control of the process and secure your future. If you're serious about protecting yourself and securing your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team you need. Call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. If you're tired of this, then start your better life today with Barton & Associates. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
If you've been waiting and waiting to get your eyes taken care of, tired of wearing those glasses, tired of wearing those contacts, what are you waiting for? Now is the time to get it done. At Manrique Custom Vision Center, Dr. Manrique prides himself in getting you out of those glasses or contacts with his blade and pain-free LASIK, which is totally safe and comfortable. It will give you the best possible vision, and you can throw out the glasses and contacts. They've got over 25 years of experience, and they've done over 72,000 laser vision corrections. They offer financing to all with up to 36 months interest-free. Give them a call today to set it up. 210-354-2020. Come and see the Manrique difference for yourself. Every patient benefits from a customized vision plan that they bring to life with state-of-the-art technology, a variety of options to help make your treatment an investment you can afford and the right people. Change your vision, change your life today. It's Manrique, 210-354-2020.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Any professional landscaper will tell you, spring is their favorite time of year. Not just because business ramps up, but also because of Gravely's Mow the Distance sales event, where they can save up to $1,000 on Gravely commercial mowers, including the ProTurn 600, the ultimate combination of comfort and performance. Yep, spring is definitely a time for new growth, because there's no better time to build your fleet with Gravely than during the Mow the Distance sales event. And yes, special financing is available. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Join us for San Antonio's premier Fiesta event, Taste of the Northside, presented by H-E-B, Thursday, May 1st at 6. Experience gourmet food and wine tastings, sip on elevated spirits and cold brews, and enjoy live entertainment at our new location, The Rock at La Cantera. All proceeds benefit Brighton Center, serving children with disabilities and developmental delays in San Antonio. Limited all-inclusive tickets are $300 in advance and can be purchased at tasteofthenorthside.org. Viva Fiesta!
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Got a public service announcement real quick because I just see this right now on Facebook. Yeah, just remember, everywhere you go, you are on camera.
Uh-oh.
And our good friends over at Texas Cheer Liquor just posted a video. Says, say hello to Sticky McFingers, I'm going to steal your stuff. And there is video of this guy in a red hoodie, khaki shorts, in the store, and literally putting bottles in his hoodie, and then he walks out. So do your thing, Facebook people. Go see the video and find this dude. Call him out.
Wow.
That sucks.
And nobody stopped him. I guess they couldn't see that he
Yeah.
was getting it done, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder if the same dude that stole the mannequin from the Golf Club of Texas.
You know, and they got that mannequin back.
They
His
did.
name is Steve, and he still doesn't wear a white belt. The mannequin's name is Steve.
Dude, I asked about the white belt display. There was a white belt hanging there, though.
Yeah, well, somebody
for sale.
Well, was it for sale, or did
Of
somebody
course it
buy
was
a
for
real
sale.
colored belt and decide to take off their white belt and
It
switch it out?
It was for sale.
It's been there since
White-
1981.
No, it was one of those schwanky ones.
What
Brand
white-
new schwanky.
What white belt wouldn't be described as schwanky?
Well, I'm just saying it's one of those where you don't need a hook, right? It doesn't have belt holes or,
What?
The holes for to stick the thing in.
What?
You know what I'm talking about. It's a ratchet.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know, when you do a belt, you have the little thing, you stick it in the hole, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that one you stick in the hole too, don't you? Pledge is showing me his belt.
Yeah, Pledge, put your pants back on. Pledge, put your pants on.
Yeah, see, it's a ratchet one.
A ratchet.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so you don't have. Do you ever wear belts, Minix?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, you know how to do a belt.
Yeah, I know
don't
how
you?
to do a belt. Whatever you just described, I'm not sure that would be how anybody else would describe a belt.
Well, how would you? Oh.
What was your hand motions?
Do
Those
you
watching
not
on
have
YouTube.
belt holes?
Yes.
Okay, those
Yes.
are belt holes,
Yes,
right? And you
yes.
got a little prong that you stick in one of those belt holes.
It's just your finger descriptions of your little prong could be many, many different things while looking for the belt holes.
Oh, don't judge me on my little prong. And I don't want a big, long thing down there. I'm just saying that was one of the schwanky ones where it's a ratchet.
A ratchet.
So, yeah, where you
there's
pull
no
it,
holes and you just
no holes,
yes,
right?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So
a no-hole belt.
That's how I know it's fairly new.
Uh-huh.
So I think, Bo, congratulations. When that one sells out, I need the display.
That one sells out. When somebody goes and buys that thing, which
Exactly.
might be Reinagle this Saturday when we go out and play.
It might be.
Yeah, just so you could say, Bo,
And
you
speaking
sold
of-
out a white belt. What?
Speaking of that, I could go into that golf shop and spend $1 bazillion.
You could.
They got some great
I
stuff
think Bo
in
would
there,
like
man.
you to do that.
They've got some really cool stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't go in and steal it. You're on camera.
I'm not stealing anything. I'm just saying. So maybe that white belt, just so Bo.
They wouldn't miss it.
So I get away with that, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. You want to talk college athletics or NBA?
College athletics gets me fired up.
Well, you seem like you need to be fired up right
Yeah,
now
I do.
because talk about sticking at places, right?
Uh-huh, yeah.
You look at what's going on in college athletics, and bleep show is probably the right terminology. Now, a couple of things, like Baylor, they're screwed. They don't have a player on the roster returning next year. 9 dudes hit the portal, 4 graduated or exhausted their eligibility, and 1's going pro. So you look at Scott Drew, who had a hell of a season this year. He does not have 1 returning player. Now, I don't know because I figure Scott Drew's a hell of a coach, and they've won a national championship recently. So I don't know why all these dudes are hitting the portal except for they can. 35% of all college basketball players right now are in the portal, which is ridiculous. But how do you build a program when you're starting from scratch if you're Baylor University? Then you look at what's going on with the former quarterback at Tennessee, Nico, who apparently is going to UCLA, according to reports today, but not for the $4 million he was trying to get out of Tennessee. He's taking a pay cut, and he's going to now have to pay California taxes on that money that he does get.
Well, Chris Lowe of ESPN on ESPN.com is reporting as a story just 45 minutes ago saying that UCLA in talks with quarterback Nico Iamaleava. I don't know what.
I'm a leaving.
So for less money is what that's the headline right now. It doesn't say what the amount of money is. He was earning $2.4 million at Tennessee. According to the story, under the contract he signed with, is it Spire Sports Group? That's a Tennessee-based collective. Okay, so 2.4. It's a deal that would have paid him in the $10 million range had he stayed 4 years at Tennessee.
So 2.5 a year? That
Sure.
makes sense.
2.5 a year. Not bad if he stayed all 4 years, right? He wanted $4 million, according to reports.
Per year.
Yes, and Tennessee said, absolutely not. We're not renegotiating this deal. So it may not even been Tennessee. It could have been this collective saying, no, we're not doing that. You agreed to this amount. This is what we're paying you.
Well, either way, he wanted more money than what he had originally agreed to, and they said no.
Right.
And whether it was the collective or Heupel, nobody was going to pony up more money for this kid. And so he took his ball and he left.
Yep.
What's interesting now, because the portal is open, Josh Heupel getting a lot of credit for holding his ground. Mario Cristobal comes out and says, we're not doing that here. If you hold out, you might as well get out. And all the schools that were originally listed as potential landing spots for Nico all seem to have dried up except for UCLA. Tulane apparently had a nice offer for him, but too much back and forth, and they said, no, we're done. But Urban Meyer, of all people, said today, Tennessee, you're screwed. Next year when you're playing Florida, and if things aren't going well, is Josh Heupel going to be able to tell his boosters and his fans, yeah, but remember how proud of you were for me taking a stand against Nico back in April? No, because it's about wins and losses. Now Heupel's got to go find a quarterback. What is he going to do? He's going to go buy somebody off of a roster of a team that just finished their spring ball, and they think they've got their quarterback, but Tennessee will come in and money whip a kid, and he's going to go.
Well, they'll probably give him $2.4 million. Reading this story that just appeared on ESPN about 45 minutes ago, I'm not sure that it was necessarily all Josh Heupel. I'm thinking it was this collective that said no, because he was under contract, according to this story, that he signed with the Spire Sports Group. He was under contract. He signed a contract with them, according to this story, for $2.4 million per year.
Which, again, whether it's if Heupel wanted to keep him, could they have come up with the money? But he had a contract.
Sure, they could have.
But they had a contract.
Exactly.
And you can't start playing that game, I'm going to hold out if you don't give me more. And so whether it was a collective, Heupel, I've got to believe the group. I can't imagine a collective doing anything against the head coach's wishes.
Well, look, I can, because if they had agreed to $2.4 million for 4 years, where you get kids going to make $10 million, yeah, I can see that. Look, eventually these collectives, these boosters are going to get tired of this crap. They're going to. I mean, we all think boosters, they've got unlimited amounts of money that they can just pay whatever, and they just want to be in, and they just want to win. Well, I'll tell you what, Tennessee didn't win this year. I don't know what their prospects are, but they are in the SEC, which means it's going to be very difficult to win this coming year, regardless of who your quarterback is. So if you've signed a contract with a collective and you want to back out of that contract, the collective would give you a nice birds up.
And as they should. Whether it's I still got to figure it's part of the group. And Josh Heupel said, we're not playing that here. Not renegotiating once we have it. And I think about Jeff Traylor. That guy's, scrounging up everything he can, and once they commit to it, it should be there. But that's part of the problem in college athletics today is there's contracts, but there's no consequence for breaking the contract. Kid can say, I'm out, hit the portal, transfer, and he's eligible right away to play for UCLA if he ends up at UCLA with whatever amount of money they're able to come to terms with. It feels like he got some bad advice from his dad and others, according to reports, although they're saying now it was the offense, not the money.
Which is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's just absolutely ridiculous. If you say he didn't lose any, no consequence, according to this story, he lost about $7.5 million.
Well, because he thought he could get more. So if he would have, if go somewhere that would pay him $4 million a year over the next 4 years, that's 16. So he guessed wrong. He forecasted wrong. He thought there would be a market, and quite frankly, so did I. I thought there would be a bidding war for a quarterback that was a 5-star coming out that everybody thinks is going to be a first-round pick when he's eligible for the draft in a couple years, and they've been saying that about him since he was 15 years old. He's kind of like Caleb Williams when he came out. That kind of quarterback, that kind of pedigree. I am glad there wasn't a bidding war because I think a lot of coaches realize, from Bill Belichick, and you think about Lincoln Riley and all the ones that were mentioned initially, they realized for the good of the sport, we can't do this. Now, if UCLA is able to get him at a bargain, good for UCLA. This guy took a risk, and he lost. He seems to have lost. Maybe ultimately he doesn't because, I don't know, you see some reports he's agreed to UCLA, other reports not yet, and they're still going back and forth. He made a mistake.
He made a big mistake.
If he is successful, we will see more do it. He is the first big-time college athlete to pull this. This is different than, say, the quarterback at UNLV who was promised something, apparently, and they didn't deliver it because he didn't have it in writing. This kid had a contract.
Yep. He had a contract, according to the story on ESPN. Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy is chiming in on this, and I find that fascinating as an ad just popped up in my face.
Don't you?
Yeah, I love it. He says that I don't think this should surprise any of us, right? Gundy said. We can talk about this forever. We're trying to build an NFL system in an amateur model. And we don't have rules, we don't have regulations, we don't have leadership in one position that controls all of this. So you're going to continue to see more of this. That's according to Mike Gundy, the head coach at Oklahoma State, and he's absolutely right.
Again, they're not amateur athletes anymore. They're paid at professionals. There needs to be contracts and consequences. And before you go, well, coaches do it. Coaches have buyouts in their contracts. There are financial consequences if they leave one job to take the next. And, that's the easy thing that people look at. We do get mad at coaches when they do that. Unless they're coming to our school and you're happy about it, then you celebrate it. You look at Jeff Traylor when he was getting looked at by other jobs. His buyout is so massive at UTSA, or at least was at the time, that prevented him from leaving. That was what Jeff Traylor gave back in his negotiations with UTSA for getting the 10-year contract. It was his commitment to UTSA. I want to be here. I'll put a crazy buyout in there that nobody's going to pay. So these kids don't have that, and they don't have to sit out a year. Maybe that's a rule that needs to come back if you hit a portal.
Yep.
But I'd like to say if you sign a deal, an NIL deal, it's for multiple years. And if they have to make scholarships multiple years, that's the other thing. Most people think you get a 4-year scholarship. You don't. You get a 1-year scholarship that's renewed. So maybe they all need to be multi-year with some sort of consequence if you break them. But bottom line is what's going on in Waco, what's going on at Tennessee, maybe that gets the suits in the room to get together and figure out some sort of plan. It won't be perfect, but it's got to be better than what we're dealing with right now.
I think 2-year contracts for these players, and there should be an out in every contract. If the coach leaves, then this contract is null and void, and you can leave as well. And I do, and that may solve that problem that everybody wants to compare. If that's the case, might make it harder for the coach to leave. Might do the university work harder to keep that particular coach? Who knows? But there's got to be something. There's got to be something in place, a commitment from these players that they make when they sign on the dotted line that you got to hold this contract and keep it.
And you also wonder for coaches. Every coach you listen to, they all sound so frustrated, including one, Jeff Traylor. Now, Jeff Traylor was asked yesterday, as the UTSA is going through their spring ball, that about what was going on. And he sidestepped it but came up with a great Trailerism analogy.
My wife gives me hell all the time because I always watch 1883, 1923, Yellowstone just over and over and over and over. And she's like, why do you do that to yourself? And it's just always a great reminder to see, how, tough people do tough things. And you got to be tough. And you got to just stay true to who you really are. And it's not easy, man. And being a football coach is extremely easy to compare to going down the Oregon Trail or try to keep your ranch getting taken from you.
Keep your ranch.
Keep your ranch. They're coming for it. Honey, load up the wagon. We're going to the Oregon Trail.
We know they lost their running back to the portal. The guy did he just compare his running back to ranch thieves? Or other coaches, ranch thieves. Don't come after my quarterback or my running back or my left tackle or my linebacker.
You, that only Jeff Traylor could make that analogy and make it sound good. It really did.
But his point, this sucks, but somebody's got it rougher.
Yeah, some dudes have. And you're in college football, he's making a really good salary, more money than I think he's made in his entire career. So I get where he's coming from, but again, it's for these, especially for a guy like Jeff Traylor, in these smaller schools, man, you're recruiting every single day, 24 hours, 365 to keep your players because other schools that can pay more money are coming after them.
And again, you think about UTSA and trying to raise money for the collective, the revenue share, and they still have to go raise all the other money that they've been raising for years for facilities and equipment and everything else. And Jeff can go get a guy, develop them, and right when they're really good, somebody's going to go take them to Austin.
Or certainly going to offer them, that's for sure. And we'll see. Some players stay. Jeff's been lucky that way.
Yeah.
Some of his best players said, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here at UTSA. And some have left.
And Owen McCown, a great example of that.
Yeah.
Because he would rather make less money in San Antonio. Because I know he was offered more, but, not everybody comes from a NFL family background, and it's going to be there.
True
right?
that.
You look at others, maybe I look at a guy like Trey Moore from Smithson Valley.
Mm-hmm.
I know he always dreamed of playing in Austin, didn't get there initially out of high school, developed at UTSA, and now he gets to live that dream. And so it's, everybody's decision is different, and you can't blame a kid for wanting to go play for UT, especially if you grew up here. But if it wasn't for UTSA, he wouldn't have had that opportunity.
That's exactly right.
And zero compensation coming back to UTSA.
That's it. Something's got to happen. I don't know who's going to do it or when it's going to happen, but I'm telling you, these stories that we're talking about today are just going to continue. They are.
Some pretty good basketball last night in the play-in tournament. Got a couple of games tonight. We'll talk about them coming up here on the Blitz, here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And if you want to make these games more exciting, make sure you're playing on Underdog. Now, with the basketball playoffs here, Underdog has introduced an extender promo. With the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. So start a playoff series using your Game 1 boost. Continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boost. Underdog is a leading place to make all your sports picks. One of the best sports apps out there with over 100,000 five-star reviews. I know I love playing. Last night I had a discount with Steph at 23.5. That turned green. Liked seeing that. Once you feel good about the picks you're making, you can play for as little as $1 and win up to 1,000 times your money. So download the Underdog app, sign up with promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, one day closer to the NFL Draft. We'll get into discussions on that, and the playoff field is closer to being set. Another round of play-in games in the books. We'll tell you who's left and who's gone home. All that and a lot more. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Spring is here, and in South Texas, that means storms, wind, rain, and hail. If you've been hit by a storm or think you have damage, now is the time to contact Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. Don't put your trust in an out-of-town storm chaser. Stevens Roofing is a family-owned, locally based company who will be here for years to come. The team at Stevens Roofing and Solar will give you peace of mind when the storms come rolling in. Call 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, JOEQ. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Hey, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been, because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this: the insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. I hear 1604 is lovely right now.
What, it's crowded?
Yeah.
Why? Wreck?
Just normal.
Just
normal. Got a text from a friend who works at UTSA, lives out in Universal City. 1604 is a mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Construction.
Life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not really. Do you ever get used to that? Honestly? I don't think so.
Get used to what?
Traffic. Construction.
How are you
it's
not
all
used
over
to
the
it
city.
by now?
You're
not used to it by now.
I hate it.
Well, you can hate it, but you're used to it. You know it's there.
I guess so.
I mean, it's weird. I mean, and I know I'm not the only one, and partly is because we can do this on our phones now, but I don't care if I know where I'm going, which 90% of the time I know exactly where I'm going and how I want to go. But I use the GPS now a lot.
Yeah.
Even going home, there's 3 different routes I can take, and whichever is fastest route is the one I'm taking.
Oh, wait a minute. What's the third one? I know 2 of them.
That's his secret.
Well, no. I mean, Joe, you could go 410 instead of exiting 281. You can actually go all the way around to I-10 and then hit 1604 that way.
Yeah. That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
No, and that's always the longest route.
And usually there's a lot of traffic that way.
There is, but there's been a couple of times where that's the shorter route.
Wow. Okay. All right.
And because I always know better than GPS, I've learned that I don't always know better, that there was a reason it wanted me to go down I-10. Or you could even go up Blanco, Northwest Military, and some other things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I learned once that I defied my GPS, and it cost me 2.5 hours on I-10 just outside of Seguin.
And that's when you really were hoping for leaves in the gutter.
Yeah, well, yeah. There were guys getting out of their cars, peeing on the side of the road. It was like, what do you do?
Leaves in the gutter don't help with that.
That doesn't help.
That doesn't help.
Fortunately, I didn't need that.
Although, I imagine there's going to be somebody at Oyster Bake with leaves in the gutter.
I would imagine they probably need that.
That might actually be better than some of the porta potties.
You ain't kidding, man. Those things are nasty.
Let's give away some tickets to Oyster Bake right now. Yesterday we did caller 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson. Right now, caller 4, you're going to Oyster Bake. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 4, you're welcome, pledge. You're going to Oyster Bake.
That's a good one, Oyster Bake.
I don't know if it's Friday or Saturday. It's going to be a surprise to you, too, when you get them. We know we got them, but apparently Nick didn't want to divvy them up and say these are Friday or these are – I don't know. And you don't give a damn. You just want free tickets to Oyster Bake. And
well, exactly. And then you figure it out from there.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Saw a familiar name up there on that call list.
Who?
Some dude used to work here.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Is he eligible to win?
Same last name, different.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
He's won before. I know who you're talking about.
Oh, no. Is it on line 2 right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a different guy? All right.
Well, it's a pretty common last name in San Antonio, sir.
Well, it is, but it's the same first name, too.
It's really not.
Oh, it's not, is
His
it?
name was Ryan, and that says Rule.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe he changed it.
Reading is difficult.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, it has. It has. It was a long night because, the basketball game was good. I thought, man, this game is getting out of hand. I might go to bed early.
It was.
Memphis said, hold my beer.
Well, Memphis could be in trouble now. They lose to Golden State last night, but John Morant turned his ankle. I don't know how severe that is.
They came back and played.
They did. Well, he did, but you know how that is.
Yeah.
You can do that, and then it swells up. So I would imagine it's not going to be bad enough to keep him out of Friday's game, which will be big Friday. He'll take on the winner of the Dallas-Sacramento game tonight, and then Atlanta is waiting for the winner of the Miami and who the hell are they
Chicago.
playing? Chicago game tonight, yeah.
Now, you look at this, and Atlanta, Trae Young gets ejected last night. He made a mockery of the game, says the referee.
Yes.
He did.
He did.
That's a team that looks like they're ready for Cancun. That is a team. I mean, Shaq buried the Hawk mascot at halftime, which was funny as hell. But the reality, they look done. And Trae Young looks not only done with this season, but that dude might be done in Atlanta. Watching him last night, his body language, you kind of get the feeling this guy might try to force a trade this offseason.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look, there was rumors that the Spurs were interested in that guy. And as it turned out, I think they did a lot better with De'Aaron Fox. So I'm happy that didn't work out. But, I don't know why. We always talk about players wanting to go to teams in the NFC. If you're a good player, don't you want to play in the Eastern Conference right now? I mean, there's only two good teams, basically. Maybe you can throw in the Knicks, I guess. But
yeah,
you got Cleveland and Boston, and then everybody else. And so I don't know. I mean, I think if you want to try to win a championship, I think the Eastern Conference might be where you want to be.
Yeah, it might be, although we'll see. And, again, I want Atlanta to lose so we get their pick and go from there because as a Spurs fan, I'm ready for this offseason and what could come of this offseason. We know we're going to have at least one lottery pick, maybe two. We've got money to spend in free agency. And I want a good mix of the young talent that we have with some veteran players, and more importantly, I want a sharp-shooting three-pointer, a sniper. Now, I've said for weeks I want Kevin Durant. I know you're anti-Kevin Durant, but I found somebody that agrees with me, although I think he might have just pulled this one out of his ass while on Pat McAfee today because, well, it felt that way.
Yeah, it did.
Quentin Johnson's on with McAfee, and they're talking about Kevin Durant. Like, where could this guy end up?
To me, it's like the Phoenix situation was just, it just didn't work out. I don't really point fingers at this person, that person. Sometimes you put things together and it just doesn't work out, and I think that was that. But like moving forward, man, I don't know where he could go, but I wouldn't. Like I said, I one of my places that I would love to see him is in San Antonio. I wouldn't mind seeing him playing with Wemby, and they got a nice young.
I didn't even think about that. Hold on, I've not heard that name. Because we got a Boston Celtics fan here who's like, bring him out to Boston.
Why not?
He's made enough money.
No,
Miami Heat people are like, you know what? He wants to sign up for the Riley experience at this stage of his career. Definitely bring him down.
If they still had Jimmy, I would say yes to Miami. If they still had Jimmy.
San Antonio, though, with him and Wemby?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the Wizards get Cooper
and
Flag.
Fox, they still got Chris Paul. They got a lot of young guys. Stephon Castle he's gonna be a star in this league. I'm telling you, if y'all don't know it already, Stephon Castle is gonna be big time. So I think they got a lot of young guys over there. But I mean, obviously the feature would be Wemby, KD, Fox, Chris Paul, and that core right there. But I think they could be pretty good if he went there.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would have to give up and how that would all work, and but I mean they got a lot of young assets too, where I still feel like they could still be sufficient after they get rid of have to give up some stuff.
Well, they'd have to give up some stuff.
Oh, they would. And Quentin Richardson obviously doesn't know the Spurs roster all that great because I don't know that Chris Paul is going to be here next year. But if you lost a Devin Vassell or a Keldon or a Jeremy to get a Kevin Durant at three-pointer, with Castle and Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, sign me up.
No, I mean, of course, right? Of course. But there are a lot of things to consider. Kevin Durant will be 37 years old when the season begins. And he's in the final year of his contract, which he's due $55 million. So not only do you have to deal with that, you're going to have to sign him to an extension because he's not going to go somewhere for a year.
Sure.
He's going to go somewhere. They're going to give him an extension. So you're looking at, I don't know, $150 million?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Hey.
Dude, it's monopoly money in
Whole
the NBA.
family,
I mean, they got that money. I mean, they gotta spend it on somebody. I mean, I'd rather give Kevin Durant 50 than Jeremy Sohan 35.
Oh, dude, there's no doubt about that. You have no disagreement with me there. at all.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, and that's another thing the Spurs are going to have to figure out. They still got to figure out the Aaron Fox, and hopefully they've already done that. There's a wink-wink deal, and it just fall right into place. But he needs an extension. So do the Spurs have that kind of money?
Yes.
Do they?
They do.
Oh, they do. You
they
know
have
this.
Plenty of money.
You their
Absolutely.
banker?
No, but I got access to the app.
I got you.
Man, it's just go to Hoops Hype and look at salaries. They got the money.
I just don't. I would like to build this team for the future. Now, if the Spurs and maybe if you say Kevin Durant coming here is the final piece to a championship puzzle, then maybe I get on board. I'm not quite sure he is. I watched him in Phoenix with Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, and they didn't even make the playoffs.
They didn't, and the Brooklyn years were a disaster. But if he comes here with and obviously he would have to agree to come here knowing that Wemby is the number one option. But what is I know we need another big there, but at the same time, having that three-point threat would be incredible. And Kevin Durant's going to be at the top of the list, and everybody's going to want him. Frank Mateo on YouTube's talking about Houston, and I could see that too. And same thing. How are they going to come up with the money?
New York Knicks.
The money is there in the NBA. I need a good mix of the young players with some vets.
No doubt. No doubt. And I agree with that. And I get a snipey little message from Pledge on there.
He remembers everything.
Well, I do want that. I'd kind of like vets,
You're
though, not old men.
Well,
all right, how about that? I'd like to have guys that are, I don't know, in their prime instead of guys that are, I don't know, old. Even though I'm an old guy,
yeah.
I root for the old guys. But, now, look, Kevin Durant here would be fantastic for a number of reasons, right? I mean, ticket sales, Spurs fans would go nuts. You already see the comments we're getting. And so in that respect, people would be excited about it. To me, I'd rather build a team that's got a good run in them because you've got some good pieces. With Castle, with Wemby, with De'Aaron Fox, you had a piece that can grow with this team. I don't know, maybe call me old school. That was the Spurs formula.
Yeah.
For their dynasty of 20 years.
Yeah, those days are over.
Well, no,
26 points a game from Kevin Durant, give it to me.
Sure.
Sign me up. As we leave, we've got tickets for Alamo Heights night. You want to go to Alamo Heights night? Well, not you. You out there in your car stuck in traffic.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
See, Pledge, you've got a show that starts in 5 minutes, right?
Well, thereabouts.
You want to do Kevin Durant's age?
37?
Yeah. No,
well, he's only,
just me answering phone calls all the way till Rangers baseball.
They were riveting extra innings with Pledge.
He's only 36 at the moment. He will be 37 by the time the season starts.
Yeah, all right. Well, caller number 4. Those tickets are yours. You're going to Alamo Heights night. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. The Blitz back tomorrow at 2.
This is 94.1